Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, and streaming, and all sorts of good stuff. And joining us today on this Thursday, she got here. Chris Carr is here. You had a bit of an adventure getting here with like several highways having several lane closures.
2 hours, y'all. 2 hours. But I love this show so much, I'd take 3 hours to get here.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd bitch the whole time, but I'd do it.
Yeah, and for those of you wondering why, for those of you watching live, we're starting today's show about 30 minutes late. That's because we wanted to wait until Chris got here.
Which is
we
very
weren't
nice.
going to set sail without Chris being here. Also joining us today, you never set sail without him. He's joining you guys in the live chat today, obviously. It is the one and the only Ray Orr. Ray, how you doing?
You know what did anchor itself last night was the newest Halo episode.
You don't sound too thrilled.
Talk about filler.
No, really?
I mean, I don't, on my own, I usually don't follow like a TV series. Like I watch Moon Knight because of you, so I'm over here, but oh man, I might have to wait. The next episode, I might have to wait until the next day. I'm not staying up for it. But on a good note, Ultraman Season 2 is on Netflix. I'm going to watch that after the show today.
I'm so disappointed to hear that because, like, I watched episode 3 of Halo, and I loved episode 3. I really, really liked it, but I didn't get a chance to watch it last night. So Ray comes in this morning, like, hey, did you watch the new episode of Halo? I haven't seen it. What do you think? He's like,
It's just, all I have to say is, did they have to spend the whole hour doing this? That's all I have to say.
Was it just an hour of showing Master Cheeks?
No, it's even worse. It's even.
Then I would have tuned in.
We could get into it maybe on Friday, like after everyone gets to watch it.
Sure, I'll make sure I'll watch it later today. And you might be able to tell that at 1 o'clock in the morning, Rob texted me and said, I still have like one last thing I need to do about my move. So Rob sends his apologies. He is not here today, but he will be back again tomorrow. But he will join us in spirit sitting over here. All right, guys, listen, we got a number of things to talk about here today. So here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break the show up into 2 parts. In the first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. And in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. How do you get a live comment or question on the show? Well, that's simple. Once we get to the final topic of today's episode, we're going to open up the super chats. And then you guys who are watching live, and only if you're watching live, you'll have a few minutes to throw in a super chat, comment, observation, thought, question, whatever you guys want to send in there. And we will address those once we're done the final topic of today's episode. So make sure you guys are ready to go on that. Also want to remind you guys, hey, our schedule is going to be a little weird over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because of 2 major things. Major thing number 1 is that we're all going to CinemaCon on the week of April 25th, right? Mm-hmm. That's the Monday.
Yeah.
So the week of April 25th, so not this Monday, but the following Monday, the whole crew, we're going to be in Las Vegas for that week for CinemaCon, bringing you all the stuff that's going on there with all the studio presentations, the secret screenings, all the news, highlights, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be broadcasting from Las Vegas all that week. So keep your guys' eyes open for that. You guys remember when Aaron and I did that last year? It was a lot of fun. This year, it's the whole team. We're all going. The other thing is we are starting officially tomorrow to beginning our move into the new studio. Now, we won't be broadcasting the show from the new studio until the first week of May, but we actually get keys to the new studio tomorrow. Keys to the new office and studio tomorrow, which we're very excited about. But, it may throw our schedules off a little bit over the next couple of weeks as we start the process of going over there and getting the new studio set up and everything like that. And warning you, I've been warning everybody. People thinking, wow, new studio, it's going to look awesome. It's going to look like shit. I'm just going to let you know. It's not going to look good at all. It's going to look like complete crap, to be honest with you, because I am not a designer. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make it practical and we're going to make it work. I'm actually very, very excited for it. So thank you guys for supporting us all this time and making it possible for us to get this new space and expand some of the content that we're going to be producing moving forward. All right. With that down, guys, let's dive right into our main topics here, shall we? And how do we select our main topics here in the John Campea Show? It's really rather simple. You see, you guys come up with them. Whenever you guys come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the John Campea Show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
We are first hearing from Isaac Baby. Hi, John. We all know that most TV shows that release week to week have a previously on before the start of every episode to catch people up. But when it comes to movies, sequels, and future installments, they often release years apart from each other. So my question is, do you think movies should also have the same thing? Especially for those who may have either A, not seen the previous films, or B, not rewatched the previous films recently prior to seeing the new one. Thanks, and bring on the filthy.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Isaac. And you know, every day I start going through the list of all the questions that got sent in and all that kind of stuff. And there's hundreds of them that come in, so I kind of breeze through them. And I came across this message that Isaac just sent in. And I'm like, no, that's not a topic. And I just kept going. But for some reason, it kept itching inside my brain. And I went back and I read the question again. I thought about it some more. It's like, you know what? This is worth a conversation. Because he raises a really interesting point. When we watch a TV series, most of the time we're watching a new episode literally just 1 week after we saw the last episode. And to kind of set the stage for this new episode we're going to watch, a few years ago, TV shows started this trend. I can't remember which was the first show to do it, but they started this trend by starting new episodes with previously on The Wire. Although I don't think The Wire was after The Wire. Previously on Castle or whatever. And they do like a 30-second montage that kind of highlights some key narrative points and story points and maybe reminds you some things that maybe happened in a previous season or whatever that will be relevant to this. Because, you know, if some guy shows up at the door and our hero goes, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you forever. And we're going, wait a minute, who was that again? You know, the previously on can set that up for us, right? It actually works really well on television. I grew an appreciation for that. And now I actually look for it when I'm starting a new episode. And actually, when I come across the odd episode of television that doesn't have that previously on, it kind of throws me off a little bit. But I never thought about the notion of having that at the beginning of a movie, particularly a sequel. You know, a sequel or a movie that is a part of a franchise. A movie that starts with previously on Ant-Man, and then then having Michael Pena show up and give a quick, okay, so here's what happens, and run through the whole thing. And I gotta say, my first thought is no. But if we appreciate it so much for a show that we just saw the week before, could there not be benefit with starting a movie, say a Doctor Strange to Multiverse of Madness, starting it off with a 45-second of previously in the MCU, and then highlighting some key points of some things that really set the stage for us going into the movie? I first read the question and I breezed over thinking that's ridiculous, but is it ridiculous? I'm not so convinced that it is. I'm starting to think with the franchisation of a lot of things like the MCU and whatever, and the MCU for over a decade has been treated like one long television series, really, there could be some benefit to it. I don't know. I got a lot of different thoughts on it. Chris, you see this, you hear this question. It's like, could movies that are part of franchise, sequels, third parts, whatever, sometimes 1, 2, 3, 4 years in between them, is it a silly idea, or is there some benefit to the idea of starting movies like that?
You know, I think there's actually something here. And at first I was like, absolutely not. Because when I see the previously on, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, right? I have a hard time turning my brain off for this is what's going to happen this episode. This is what's going to happen in this movie. And when I get the previously on and I see certain guest stars pop up, right? It's, oh, that's our plot point this time. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, I kind of already know the groundwork of the episode. But then it got me thinking about the Michael Pena one that you brought up,
Right.
which I would love if we did that instead of Nicole Kidman in front of a movie.
Oh, damn right.
Right? Use that time to recap me on the Marvel Universe. Or, man, think about how knowledgeable I could be about the Fast franchise.
If they started Hobbs and Shaw with previously in the Fast and the Furious
I wouldn't
universe.
have to watch a damn thing, and I'd know exactly what's going on. Because chat, you keep giving me misdirections on this. Some of you are like, absolutely watch Fast. Others are like, Chris, you're not missing anything.
Yeah, not missing much.
I feel like I need to watch it for this show, though. We all talk about it so much. So I do think for
watch
certain
Fast 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you should be all right.
There we go. I think, though, that for certain franchises, I do think it makes sense to have a nice little recap, especially if you can make it an in-universe thing, like, that kind of quick speed Ant-Man recap. I love that kind of idea.
Ray, what do you think about this?
Someone in the chat brought up a great example. M. Joseph B, I think. He said the Rocky movies kind of do like a little recap in the beginning, right? But it's a little bit more of the recap of the last fight. It's not really of the story. So, but that's the only one I could think of. The problem with the recap thing is a lot of sequels, they have nothing to do with the first movie. They're trying to do something completely different, like a completely different story.
True. Yeah.
Unless it's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is a special case because everything connects. I don't know if people really need those recaps in a way where it would actually hit home with someone. Like, oh, that recap. I now know how close these two people are. So in this movie, I could. I don't think it'll have that impact like just watching the movie would. I don't know. It'll just make the movie longer to me. So for me, that's a no.
Why does Rob's face right now look like I just said, "Hey, Rob, Star Trek sucks"?
Oh, no.
No, but so what about this for an idea? I remember. I don't know if you guys remember the Edward Norton Hulk movie. Edward Norton, of course, my co-star in that Hulk movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
That's
I don't
how
think
he
he really
introduces himself
served
now.
you in that film,
Yeah.
but you did great.
Whenever he enters the room, John Campea's co-star in the Hulk.
That's
Edward
crazy
Norton.
how much screen time he gave him.
I was very generous.
Very generous.
I was very generous. But if you remember that movie started in a really interesting way because they didn't want to go back and tell the Hulk origin story again. So what they did was, not a ton of movies today have opening credits. There are still movies that have opening credits, but they use like basically opening credits, the music playing do, and they used the first minute or two to show newspaper clippings, news footage, blah, that basically told the story of the origin of this Hulk. Mm-hmm. So that we didn't need to use movie time to go through the whole origin story again.
Even better, it was the correct origin story as opposed to Eric Bana.
It was the correct. Phantom Nick Nolte did not create him. So what if they used, instead of like the traditional television previously in the MCU, what if they did something like that? What if they incorporated like opening credits or like a minute and a half long, and in those opening credits showing us quick little clips and reminders of relevant things to this new movie that have happened in the MCU previously that sets us up. Like if it was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, you'd probably see a clip of like Wanda going mad and something about Doctor Strange saying something in one of the movies. I don't know.
With that example, I think it would help with showing if it was important to the story of Doctor Strange 2, the WandaVision stuff, everything, because some people didn't watch the show at all.
Exactly.
So that's where it would work. Philip Maddox in the chat brought up Back to the Future. Did they do a little recap in the beginning?
It's been so long I can't remember.
But if that were the case, that's one where I think it would work just because of the type of movie it is. But I don't know. Sometimes during the movie you get recaps anyways, like those flashbacks to me are recaps. If it's important to the story for people to get something, then fine. But I don't think all sequels need it.
No, yeah, maybe not. Listen, we joke about it, but I honestly still completely 100% believe. I think for every new Marvel project that comes out, Marvel should get Michael Pena as the MCU beloved character Luis, and just do a YouTube video that gets put out 2 weeks before a movie or a new Disney Plus series goes. Okay, so and it's basically, so 2 weeks before Doctor Strange comes out, boom, you drop this Luis thing online. So anybody who hasn't watched WandaVision, for anybody who maybe didn't catch up on something that happened with Doctor Strange before or whatever, you got Luis, doing some insanely entertaining 90-second thing that leads up to the beginning of Doctor Strange. I think that would be, number one, incredibly cheap marketing to do. Number two, would be wildly successful online. Those videos would break the internet every single time they drop.
Absolutely.
And number three, I think encourage a lot of people. I think it would be better than any trailer. I think those things would sell a movie better than 80% of the trailers that they could put out. I mean, there are still some trailers who do a better job, but I mean, I just think it would be incredible.
You know what? I already envisioned in my head that happening before the Marvel Studios logo comes up. You know how it flips the comic book pages and then the Marvel Studios? Right before that, they should do the Michael Pena thing where it's like the flipping of the comic book pages, but of what he's talking about. And then it morphs into the Marvel Studios logo. I don't know. There's
a lot of ways
I really
to
like
do
that
it.
idea.
But I mean, I guess just the point is that this idea came in, I'm like, I instantly dismissed it. But the more I think about it, it's like,
think it'd be kind of fun.
there could be benefit to doing something like this. And it could benefit the studio too in several different ways. I don't know. Question is for you guys. What do you think about the idea of sequel, not just MCU, like anything, of sequels kind of establishing some form, in whatever form it would take, some form of previously on? Could that be beneficial to viewers? Are there ways you could do it that would also benefit the studio? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a moment and thank a sponsor of today's video, HelloFresh. So guys, look, my wife Ann and I were both working professionals, so we know how tricky, difficult, and time-consuming it can be to try to eat properly and prepare your own meals at home. And that's why, like over a year ago, we started using HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. I mean, you skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and probably most importantly, affordable. HelloFresh offers the flexibility you need to easily customize your orders online or right in the app. Easily change your delivery day, food preferences, and plan size, or skip a week whenever you need to. HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the exact same quality, and you can save on average over $65 a month when you order HelloFresh instead of going grocery shopping. So guys, I'm telling you, whether you are single or have a family, you are going to love HelloFresh. So go to hellofresh.com/Campea16 and use the promo code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's again, hellofresh.com/Campea16 and use that promo code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. And a big thank you to the folks at HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Guys, dead serious, Ann and I love their stuff. I think you'll like it too. Check out their link in the description below. All right, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 2, shall we? Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This comes from the one above all. Greetings and salutations, Imagination Campea soars. Yesterday, reports came out saying Jesse L. Martin will no longer be a regular on CW's The Flash. Along with Grant Gustin's new 15-episode deal and Candace Patton saying she's unsure if she'll return for season 9, all signs point toward the show ending. Well, The Hollywood Reporter says they've been in talks to end The Flash following a shortened season 9. I followed the show from middle school to college, but it finally lost me this year. Its time has come. What are your thoughts?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And look, The Flash, when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, The Flash is going to be a success story, a big success story. It was a show that came out as an idea of a spin-off of Arrow that I honestly thought was a bad idea. And then when they did finally get around to doing the show and I watched the first few episodes, I'm like, okay, I'm in. It has been overall, I think we will look back on The Flash and go, that was a good superhero show. That was a well done show. Now, I would have stopped saying that a number of years ago, but overall, like 6 years from now, when I look back on The Flash, I'm going to go, yeah, that was fun. I liked that show. I didn't like the last couple of seasons and I eventually tapped out and I gave up on it. But for the most part, it was a good show overall. A lot of fun. That being said, it is a show that, like, honestly, several pairs of my underwear should have been discontinued 4 years ago. I mean, it's just a show. Maybe 4 is a little too long. Maybe 3. Some people might say 2. But I think most of us agree that the Flash series has exceeded its shelf life expiration date. Because I really like these shows. And even I, like a while ago, was like, I just can't watch it anymore. I've given up. Especially after, once I found out that the best friend, the guy who became Vibe. Cisco. And why did I remember his other name? But I couldn't remember Cisco. Like, once Cisco left, who I thought was the human heartbeat of the show, like, definitely Grant Gustin is the lead. He's the leader of that series. Mm-hmm. But Cisco was the heartbeat of it to me. He gave the show almost 60% of its personality. So once I heard that he was leaving the show too, and then of course the Canadian actor who I can't remember who played Eobod, Dr. Wells for all that, then I heard he left as well. And all that kind. Now we hear Jesse Martin is leaving the show, and I heard the actress who plays Iris may not be coming.
That's Candace, yeah.
Yeah, because they've been doing this show for 8 seasons.
Well, and Dr. Wells, Tom Cavanaugh keeps leaving
and coming
back.
Yes.
Which is also weird.
And by the way, I know a bunch of people hated that they started doing the multiple Wells and all that kind of stuff.
I loved the Council of Wells.
So did I. I liked I know a lot of people thought it was silly. I don't know why. Tom Cavanaugh made it work.
It lets him flex.
Yes. And I loved all the various Sherlock Wells and all, like, I just liked them. I did. But I just felt we got to a point in that show that it was rinse, repeat. Everybody, I am the Flash and I am the fastest man alive, except for the villain this season. Then next season, I am the fastest man alive, except for the villain this season. And I'm the fastest man alive, except for my kid. Oh, I am the fastest man alive. Oh, now except for these 18 other people who just got off the bus. Like, everybody's a speedster.
Yeah.
Everyone in the universe is a speedster. You get super speed and you get super speed.
A lot of metahumans.
A lot of metahumans running all over the place. And I don't know, it lost its charm at some point. So anyway, now a report has come out that is saying that it looks like next season, they're calling it 9 is done. According to the Hollywood Reporter, they're even saying they're going to cut the season in half. Probably around the 8, 9, or 10 episodes, where Flash has had up to 23 episodes in certain seasons. I think lately it's been like 18, 19, 17 episodes per season, but they're going to cut it short and say, look, it's time to close this thing off. And it's probably well timed out. So that's good to hear. But there's also some really interesting things about this. Let's go over here to this. This is what they say over at Screen Rant. The other interesting note is that if The Flash Season 9 is the final season, it will be concluding just ahead of the release of the Flash movie from Warner Brothers, which is set for release on June 23rd, 2023. I want to focus on that part for a second. I'm already seeing the conspiracy theorists out there saying Warner Brothers is killing the Flash show to set up so the Flash movie, when the Flash movie comes out in June, it'll be the only Flash. They're sacrificing. I don't believe that for a second. No. If that was the case, they would have sacrificed the Flash show years ago. But anyway, then it gets something even more interesting. As it goes on to read, it will be an interesting road for the Flash character as the Flash movie, as the Flash movie was announced in October of 2014. The Flash movie was announced in October of 2014. The Flash movie that we still don't have, the Flash movie that just got bumped to 2023, that movie got announced in 2014. Let's keep going here.
Jeez.
The Flash movie was announced in October 2014, just a week after the Flash television series premiered on the CW. So that was the week. I had Stephen Amell come in and he was on our Arrow show. Mm-hmm. And he was sitting on the couch next to me. And he was kind of upset that they would announce the Flash movie just as this Flash show was trying to get up and going, just had its first week. But let's keep going here. Just a week after the Flash television series premiered on the CW, the movie has been in development for so long and went through so many different creative incarnations that the television series was made to run for almost a decade and would conclude before the Flash movie makes it to the big screen. Let's frame that again. The Flash movie got announced the week that this show premiered. The week that this show premiered is when the Flash movie was announced. This movie will conclude, or this show will conclude its 9th season before the Flash movie ever hits screens.
Ninth season of mostly 20-something episodes? My jeez.
I mean, it really does put things in wild context. So look, on the one hand, I want to say, you know what? It's time. It is time for this Flash series to be put to bed. I'll remember it fondly. Well done, Grant Gustin and the entire team over there who's worked on the Flash. So you had some not so good seasons, whatever. But overall, I think the show's been quite good. Well done. Well-earned retirement. Time to shut this thing down. But oh my God, we got 9 seasons of y'all from between when they announced the Flash movie, and you're going to finish before the Flash movie ever even comes out.
I need to ask both of you, since I don't watch these shows, if it does come to an end, or when it does come to an end, would you consider it the best out of the CW superhero shows?
No. I mean, for me, even though it went off the rails, the first couple of seasons of Arrow, to me, are still the best stuff they've done on CW. Yeah. I mean, from what I hear, they're doing good stuff with Superman and Lois now. I really did like a lot of the first season. I kind of ditched on it once they reconnected it to the rest of the CW. So I'm like, I'm out. But I keep hearing they're doing some good stuff there. I really loved, surprising, because I thought it was a stupid idea, especially when I saw that stupid, worst costume in superhero history, Black Lightning. Dumb idea for a show. I loved that show.
I love that show.
I was so pleasantly, it was kind of like The Flash in that way. I wasn't looking forward to it, saw it, and I was like, oh my God. So, no, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. Yeah. I might even have it above Black Lightning. But for me, the first couple of seasons of Arrow, I don't know. What do you think about this whole thing, Chris?
The first few seasons of Arrow were incredible. And then The Flash kind of overtook it because Arrow started to make some very questionable choices. Felicity Smoke, they did weird things with that character who I loved so much. And then all of a sudden she was making choices that I was like, for why, Felicity? Why are you like this? But the last few years of The Flash, though, right, the show's really, really just taken a turn. I mean, I've stuck it out. I really enjoy everyone who's on this show, all the people who are behind it, the creatives and everything. I have so much respect for them. But I also think that some things just need to die. Some things need to run their course. It's why I love British television of like, no, we're doing 3 seasons and we're done. We have an end in sight and that's what we are doing. And this just feels like it's been Barry trying to push past that finish line constantly. The last season, there was this weird thing with like, he and his wife were somehow like parents to various forces. It was so odd to me. It made no sense. Iris was in and out of the season too because
it sounds like it went to Riverdale. I had tapped out already, but it sounds like Riverdale.
Yeah, there were just some really weird choices. But now do you all understand too? I'm like, The Flash is a fake movie? 9 seasons? 9 seasons ago? So many moons have passed.
So many. You know what? Here's the thing too. The Flash, it wasn't just Flash as a show and Arrow as a show. They had something really special with the Arrowverse going on for a while.
Absolutely.
And every year, I really looked forward to the crossover event every year. Because Arrow, now yes, they made changes with Stephen Amell's Arrow in the show than it was from the comic books for sure. And what some people use as a criticism, I thought was one of its strengths. Some people criticize, they've kind of made Arrow like the Batman of that universe. And I'm like,
yeah,
fuck yeah, they have. And he's great in that role. And like this guy, no superpowers, but when he first meets Barry, he's having to school Barry on like how to use his powers properly and blah, blah. And he kind of became the Batman that even like when there'd be crossovers with all these other heroes, you'd have Flash behind Arrow on one side and Supergirl behind Arrow on the other. And like, even when they did that first, what was it? Crisis on Earth X thing?
Yeah.
Who's the big, which is kind of, was a little bit of a play on like Justice Lords and a little bit of a play on Injustice Gods Among Us. But still, who's the one who was ruling the world? It was the other version of Oliver, because and that worked for me. So it wasn't just Arrow and it wasn't just Flash. These crossover events I thought were great until they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Earths.
Oh my God, that sucked. And I was
It was
so
not
glad that
good.
was the last one. I think that crossover thing made me tap out of the Arrowverse as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like at that point, really.
It had so much potential. I mean, Kevin Conroy was in it. I was so stoked.
Lucifer was in it. Smallville, Tom Welling
It had
was
so
in
much
it.
potential,
But they
and
were
they
so
just fumbled
useless. The scenes were all useless. It was like, hi, I'm here.
It was very member berries.
Nice to meet you. Okay. Just safe travels. It's like that. That's what we got all
Thanks
excited
for
to
stopping
talk
by
about.
our universe. I hope it doesn't die.
Yeah. I hope the universe don't die.
Probably
Bye.
will. So
It's like and what did they call themselves? Not the symbol. I'm the something of hope. The
totems.
The totem. That whole totem thing was so stupid. It made no sense within their own universe. It made no sense whatsoever. I'm complaining about things now just randomly. Back to the Flash. So the Flash. Again, I'll remember it fondly, but it is time to go. And anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? According to the Hollywood Reporter, it sounded like the next season of The Flash 9, they're going to cut it short and say, this is it. They're done. Are you like, no, why? Bring it back. Or are you like, yeah, it's about damn time. How are you going to look back on The Flash? Maybe you never liked it. Maybe you're like me and you still think overall it was a really good entry into the comic book television world. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
Third topic comes from Adam Stein. I'm reading that Black Adam is about to go in for reshoots soon. I understand that movies can do reshoots late in the game, but considering that Black Adam was supposed to come out in July, wouldn't beginning reshooting in May be extremely close? I've seen some speculation that this is the real reason they moved the release date back to October. Does this news of late reshooting worry you about the movie? Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And Black Adam. Man, we've been talking about Black Adam for a long time.
Ray was 5 years old
Ray
when
was...
the movie was announced.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anne was just a toddler.
Yeah.
It was, it was a long time ago. Actually, it was around the same time of the Flash movie. But we'll talk about that in a second. Black Adam is a movie I'm actually quite looking forward to
Same.
for
too.
a couple of reasons. Number one, Dwayne Johnson is probably like my second favorite movie star in the world. I get a big kick out of him in his movies. He can do his shtick as long as he wants. He can do great action. He can do wonderful comedy. I love Central Intelligence. I don't care what anybody else says. I love Central Intelligence. But him as Black Adam was kind of a natural fit. This is a superhero who is not going to have to wear any padding in his bodysuit to play a superhero. Actually, they might try to digitally make him look smaller so it looks more believable. That's just Dwayne Johnson. I just love the guy. Secondly, Black Adam is a fascinating character to do. When you really read about the character's history and all that kind of stuff, and you realize you can do a lot of cool things with this. And it's a character you can use as an anti-hero, and you can use him as a villain. And we already know from Shazam that Black Adam was a villain. And we're going to see maybe his metamorphosis into that, out of that, back to it. Don't know. But there's a lot of interesting things they can do there. So there's a report going around right now that I got this from comicbook.com, who is a good site over there. And they're quoting a Twitter account that's pretty reliable about filming that goes on in and around Atlanta all the time. And what they wrote in that was that Black Adam is about to go into reshoots here. Now, the reason why this is interesting, John, a comic book movie doing reshoots, what's the big deal? Well, when you look at it in context, it's a little bit curious. It is a little bit curious. And why it's curious, well, let's step in to the Campea classroom for a moment here, shall we? Okay. So Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson was announced as Black Adam in September of 2014. 8 years ago, getting close to 8 years ago, 7.5 years ago, is when Dwayne Johnson was announced as Black Adam. So 1 month before Flash movie got announced, Dwayne Johnson was announced.
Let's go DC.
Let's go DC. Always with that timetable, moving so
Making
quick.
it right. Using your time.
Using your time. Take your time. Be patient. So anyway, we heard about that, and then we heard nothing, then we heard nothing, then we heard nothing, then we heard nothing for years and years and years. Always. It was Dwayne Johnson, his production partner, and his business manager saying, oh, we're real excited about the progress we're making, blah, blah, blah. About 6 years of that. And then sometime around 2020, 2019, 2020, they made the announcement that that the movie is now coming, and the original release date was December of 2021. Okay. So as we started to get closer to December of 2021, they made the announcement, okay, oops, our bad. No worries though. We've got a new release date. The release date is July of 2022. Okay. Release date of 2022. Well, then a few weeks ago, we talked about on the show that hold tight. Dwayne Johnson got on his social media and said, I'm excited to tell everybody that we've moved again. And we've moved to October. I believe that should be 2023 there. 2022, I mean. To October 2022, because I do believe it's still coming out this year. All right. So, here's why the reshoot stuff is interesting. This movie was supposed to be out 4 months ago, originally. 4 months ago. Look, today, a lot of comic book movies plan in advance that they're going to do reshoots. When Marvel sets up their shooting schedules, they shoot it up in such a way as like, here's when we're doing our principal photography. Then like a few months after that, that's when we're going to do reshoots. See, it used to be in Hollywood that reshoots on a movie meant disaster. And the reason it meant disaster is because movie studios were very tight with their budgets. Time is money. And like when you made the movie, you were done. Once you were done shooting the movie, that's it. It's done. It's now in the can, finished. It doesn't matter if you realize you made a terrible mistake at one point. It doesn't matter if you came up with a 10 times better idea. The movie's done. The money has been spent. With the age of the comic book movie blockbusters, though, these movies make so much money that Marvel realized, you know what? We have the flexibility that we can spend some money to do reshooting if we discover something wrong in our movie or if we come up with a better idea. Kevin Feige has said several times that we now plan reshoots even before we start shooting the movie because we always know once we get into the editing room, we may come up with 15 better ideas and we want to give ourselves the flexibility to make those changes. And so now, today, when a movie's going into reshoots, we never blink. We never blink. This one, though, is interesting because once again, a movie that's about to go into reshooting now that was supposed to already be in theaters 4 months ago. A movie that then got moved that's supposed to be out in 2.5 months in July before it got moved again to October. What this tells me is that these are not planned reshoots. This isn't planned. So not being planned or thought about in advance, I'm going to admit, as somebody who's very excited for this movie, as somebody who believes in this movie, as somebody who is a big Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fan, I think that if these reports are accurate, and we got to put that caveat in there, that if these reports are accurate, to me it is a little concerning because I think this is a situation of, yeah, this isn't working and we need to change some things to make it work. And I think it is the real reason why this movie got bumped. I remember Warner Brothers put out some things due to a backlog in visual effects and blah, blah. Really? Because this movie was going to come out in December. So don't tell me that it's, we just realized we have some delays. You moved this thing from December to January, February, March, April, May, June, July. You moved it 7 months. You were able to get your visual effects straightened out in 7 months from a movie that was supposed to come out back in December. So listen, I don't have all the facts. I don't think any of us have all the facts. All I can do is form a loose opinion based on what information we have. And as more information comes in, we can change our thoughts and we can change our opinions later. But just based on the information we have at hand, which is limited, admittedly, I got to say, this makes me worried. This makes me a little bit worried about maybe the state this movie might be in. I hope not, but whatever. Chris, you're seeing all this stuff, announces 2014, supposed to come out December, then supposed to come out in July, now moved to October. Now we're hearing about reshoots, beginning reshoots this close to its release date, just starting. It's one thing if they're wrapping up reshoots right now. I have to admit I am a little bit worried. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed here, but what's your impression of this and what kind of reaction do you have to it?
I mean, it definitely worries me. And honestly, it felt like everything got shifted right after that Batman release, right? After the first time we saw the trailer that told us when everything was going to come out. And I can't help but feel this is Warner Brothers shuffling around going, ooh, do we need to make everything more Batman-y now? Do we need to make it more Batman-y? And
Batman-y.
maybe that's the issue, which does kind of bum me out because I like that the Robert Pattinson Batman is that kind of a Thor, its own style comic book movie. And I don't know if that's necessarily what I want for every other film, right? I want them to all have their own flavors. I want the DCEU to be like a great album. Everything vibes together, but it all tells a different story. And I don't think that these films should be like that, right? I don't think it should have no sun and exist in one town. So I am worried that they're making changes to have this more cohesive kind of union between all the films, and I just don't want it. And I have no actual factual basis on this feeling, but that's what my gut feeling right now is. It seems like they're making snap judgments based on one film's success, and it leads me to think they're going to take some darker turns with this story.
By the way, I just want to throw in there, how good does Dwayne Johnson look as
Look
Black
at
Adam?
him.
Look at that. Come on. Don't tell me you don't want to see that movie. Look at that.
Right.
I want to see that movie right now.
If the reshoots have to do with, Man of Steel right there, I'm all
That
for
guy back
that.
there?
Yeah.
Suddenly Henry became available.
Took a
They're
long
like,
time.
let's
Yeah.
put in some Henry.
To get that contract right, maybe that might be it. If that's it, I don't care if the movie's crap. If they both fight, that's good enough for me. 10 out of 10.
Maybe they're doing some reshoots so they can have some more Terramana tequila spots in it too.
Yep.
Or maybe
But really, what they should be doing,
or Chip
putting in
Putting
some
in
aviation
aviation
gin
But I mean, how
reshoot shots, huh?
how
How about
often-
some aviation gin reshoot shots,
or
huh?
do you think it has anything to do with the merger? Do they even have their hands on any of this stuff yet?
No, because the date move was announced before the merger became complete, and before that happened, they had to keep their hands off and not touch it. I'll tell you what some people in the live chat are bringing up, and I hope this isn't the case, but some people in the live chat are bringing up the possibility: what if it's to remove Ezra Miller? What if this movie has now? Listen, we've had no reports. Let's be clear. I've heard no reports, legitimate or otherwise, that have ever suggested that Ezra Miller's Flash was ever in this movie. So I personally don't think that's the case. I'll tell you what, Ray, though, if we find out that these reshoots are just because, hey, they worked out a deal and Henry Cavill can do a couple of quick little cameo scenes in it, then I'm all for it.
Or Chip and Joanna Gaines cameo.
That's right. Now
Yes.
that Discovery owns them.
Yes.
Chip and Joanna.
It's just Black Adam's putting in a lot of shiplap in his lair.
I am telling you, you put in Chip and Joanna Gaines
That will get
into it's going to make all the money. This movie makes all the money.
That would be the crossover event that my entire family would be like, hell yes.
That's right. There are people across the world who have never even seen a single comic book movie in their life. You put Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Marie Carr would be in that theater so fast.
Oh, a second. Let me bring up Joanna. I got to bring up a picture here because people don't know. So Chip and Joanna Gaines are the stars.
I think they were the first. Yeah, they were the first stars.
Yeah.
When that channel started blowing up.
Well, no, I think Property Brothers were around
Really?
before. I think Property Brothers predate them.
They got
to
their
be
own
honest with you.
network out of it though, because there was Magnolia Network.
Yeah, now they got their whole damn network. So this is Chip and Joanna Gaines.
These cuties.
And look, I'm not going to lie to you. These fuckers are delightful.
They're so cute.
They are completely delightful. I watched their show. Shut up. I
there's-
admit it.
yeah,
I watched their show.
Their show is great.
Yes, it is.
They are so opposite, but they're so perfect for each other, I think.
Chip is just such a delightful little dum-dum. I love him so much.
Oh, there's very few people. Blake Sheldon and Chip Gaines are the two guys on TV I think I'd really like to hang out with.
I want to have a beer with him as he decides he's going to demolish a wall with his head.
Yes.
Like, he's so goofy.
Okay,
Now,
but
yeah,
back to the Black
Yeah,
Adam.
back to what we're here to talk about. And just to be clear, no, Chip and Joanna Gaines are not
They're not going to
appearing,
be in there, guys.
unfortunately, in Black Adam. But that was, David Zaslav's first move. Put the Property Brothers and Chip and
Everything.
Joanna Gaines right into this thing. I don't know. Again, the bottom line here for me is I'm concerned. I'm a little concerned, but I'm going to keep hopes high. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this report coming out that Black Adam is just about to start 4 months after the movie was originally supposed to be out? They're just about to start some reshoots. Maybe it's a nothing thing. Maybe it's going to be small and minor. Maybe it's nothing at all. Or maybe it's something more major. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. We want to take a minute and thank the sponsors of this video, Liquid IV. Now listen, just one stick of Liquid IV added to 16 ounces of water will hydrate you faster and more efficiently than just water alone. It contains 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course vitamin C with 3 times the electrolytes as traditional sports drinks. And what makes Liquid IV so effective is the science of cellular transport technology, or CTT. You see, it's designed to enhance rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into your bloodstream faster and more efficiently. You know, Ann and I get up pretty early in the morning to go to the gym because we can't go to the gym at any other time during the day. And for the last couple of weeks, I have been drinking 1 full glass of water with Liquid IV. And all I can tell you is you can feel the difference during the workout. So go and grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code Campea at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use the promo code Campea, that's Campea, at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today when you go to liquidiv.com, and remember, use the promo code at checkout, Campea. And thank you to the good folks at Liquid IV. We're right in the middle of another conversation. Thank you to the good folks over at Liquid IV for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Once again, find a link for them right down in the description below. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 4. Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
This comes from Shane. Hi, John and crew. In an interview featured on Variety with Top Gun Maverick director Joseph Konansky, he said that there was over 800 hours of footage shot for the new film. And even compared to the length of the Lord of the Rings, and even compared it to the length of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That is an astounding amount of footage. How do you think they'll go about editing that down? And what do you think that says about the storytelling of Top Gun Maverick? Also, if we don't get all 800 hours on the Blu-ray, we start a petition.
All right. Thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And yeah, listen, one of my most anticipated movies right now is obviously Top Gun Maverick. They showed us 8 months ago at CinemaCon, a good 15 minutes of the movie, blew our minds. And now they're going to be showing us the movie at CinemaCon. We're seeing this movie in 2 weeks, which I'm very, very stoked about. Can't wait to give you guys our first reaction coming out of that screening for it. And I'm looking forward to it. I thought the trailers have been great. Everything looks wonderful. Now, Tom Cruise has turned into a fairly interesting cat the last number of years. And when I say interesting, I mean that in a very good way. Like he has decided to be like the ultimate stuntman actor himself, doing a lot of crazy things. He strives a lot for authenticity. I remember when they were doing The Mummy, and they have this scene in The Mummy where they're in a plane that's kind of going out of control and they're flying all around. Well, Tom Cruise was so committed to making sure that felt authentic. They actually took a plane up to 0G. They took this, I don't know, I wouldn't even call it a plane, but it wasn't a space shuttle, but something that took it right up to the edge of the atmosphere where they could have 0G and actually bomb around and fly around in the capsule of this thing just so it could look and feel more authentic. He learned how to fly a helicopter for the last Mission Impossible. He actually climbed the side of that stupid building. He actually held on to the side of a plane as it took off the ground. He did his own halo jump. Like, he's just doing all this stuff for authenticity. And he's gotten a lot of other actors for Top Gun 2 to actually be in cockpits and shoot footage from inside the cockpits with them being in there. As a matter of fact, because there's no space in it, Tom Cruise even personally taught the actors how to turn on the cameras, position them, turn on the lights, because there's no room for a cameraman in there to get all the shots they want. Cool. But 800 hours?
That seems excessive.
It seems a little excessive. This comes to us from the folks over at Variety, writes the following. Out of a 12 or 14-hour day, you might get 30 seconds of good footage, Kaczynski said about, that's the director, said about why so much footage was shot. But it was so hard-earned. It just took a very long time to get it all. Months and months of aerial shooting. We shot as much footage as 3 Lord of the Rings movies combined. I think it was 800 hours of footage. I ask in the words of Chris Carr, for why? Look, at the one hand, I get it. You can look at that number and be very excited. Think, oh, they put so much into making this movie. Okay, granted, but pre-production is for a reason. Because time is money. Every minute, Rob did the breakdown on this one time for a standard blockbuster scale Hollywood movie. Every minute on a set costs something in the tens of thousands of dollars. For every minute, a set is up and operational and functioning. It's crazy amount of money. It's a crazy amount of money. This is why filmmakers will spend sometimes years in pre-production of their films. This is why you have storyboards and animatics and all that kind of stuff, because all that stuff means less time shooting. So I look at that 800 hours and I just think irresponsible. And you know what? It puts a story we did a few weeks ago in a different context for me, because Variety ran a big article about a battle that's going on between Tom Cruise and Paramount. And if Tom Cruise, who nobody says no to Tom Cruise these days, and he's earned it, but if Tom Cruise and his directors are like shooting things like that and burning through money like that, 800 hours of footage where 797 of it is never going to be seen. And every minute of those 797 hours that are never going to be seen cost money. Because I was like, at the time when that Tom Cruise story came out, I'm like, good for Tom Cruise. You use your influence and your clout to make sure you get the movie made the way you want, because they're talking about the next Mission Impossibles, whatever. You go, Tom. I'm very pro Tom Cruise. But after seeing that story, I'm like, well, shit. If I was the studio, I'd be flipping pissed. That's just unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. It tells me you weren't prepared. You didn't do the work that you need to do before you started cameras rolling. Because if you did the work, you could have done that with 100 hours of footage or whatever. Something that would have cost us as the studio a lot less money. So, I mean, look, none of this takes away from the movie. I cannot wait for this movie. I'm super stoked for it. You know I have been. But yeah, this kind of makes me take Paramount's side a little bit more in their battle. I don't know, Chris, you hear about this. What are your thoughts?
That is so excessive. Like, yeah, if you were shooting a 12-hour day, typically, right, you're maybe getting through, 4 pages on a good day, if everyone's really singing. And so this just kind of makes me think, well, was it they filmed everything, the training as well, and that's just more footage they had just as backup? Because that I could then understand. Okay, yeah, when we're testing the piloting, when we're doing all this, if it's drone footage of all of the aerial shots they needed, those things, I guess I could understand it, but I still can't intellectually grasp why you would have 800 hours of it. Can we cut to Rob real quick?
Yeah.
Well, you know, John, when I get the 4K steelbook of this and there's all 800 hours, like, did they do this for Rob? Did they get all this footage for him for the special edition physical media? I don't understand why you would do this, because like you were saying, time is money. Footage is money. This just seems wildly irresponsible. I don't know how you could how you can justify that in any way.
Rob would be so happy with the story. And I kind of am
Would
too.
be.
Because I am a bonus footage type of guy too.
Man, they better have. I mean, obviously not 797 hours, but they better have an ass load of bonus features.
The
And
next 3 years, Movie Club is only bonus footage.
And 800 hours is perfect for a physical media release. No server is going to hold that so people can watch it.
65 disc collection.
Yep.
Of the finest.
It's going to be the
moment.
biggest steel book ever.
It'd be amazing.
You're going to need help out of Best Buy.
They're collabing with Hot Toys. It's going to be a 6-scale plane, and inside it's just loaded with DVDs.
You know who has a hot toy of those 800 hours of footage? I got a hot toy of that 800.
I can just hear Rob now. Rob is looking at. Where's Rob? Rob's on this side. Yeah. Say, hey, Rob, what do you think about the Star Trek story? Well, this movie was influenced by the Star Trek episode of the Amok Time. And thank you, Rob, for bringing it back to Star Trek. Yes, so Rob, somebody's in the live chat says it looks like Rob's been hitting on the aviation gin a little bit too hard already.
I'm about to need a little bit of that. I miss it.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look. Bottom line for me as a fan, I think this movie is going to be awesome. I think the movie's going to be incredible. And whatever you got to do to make it incredible, you go for it. It just sounds like maybe they could have prepped a little bit more. And now I get why Paramount is so upset.
Here's a question, John.
Yeah.
We're saying we're gonna see it at CinemaCon, right?
Yes,
It's
we
gonna
are.
be screened. What if they offered to show 800 hours of footage in a separate theater? Would you go?
Well, CinemaCon doesn't last that long.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'd never leave.
Oh, yeah, you're
Everyone
right.
would need to be wearing
Sorry.
Depends.
But let's say-
is going to run about 100 hours. CinemaCon itself in its entirety is running about 100 hours.
Okay, never mind the
We
question.
got too much food to go eat, Ray.
Yeah.
We can't do this.
Man, we got just too much food, and we
gotta
got
go
to
to
go
Best
see
Friends.
Penn and Teller, and just a lot of stuff to do in Vegas that week. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this story that apparently shot like 800 hours, more than all 3 Lord of the Rings films shot in their entirety with all of their footage combined? What do you guys think about this? Jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 5, shall we? Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
5th topic comes from Will H. Greetings, John and crew. I was watching the show yesterday, and you mentioned you thought that Thor 4 was going to be the better movie between it and Multiverse of Madness. I think you're crazy. This Doctor Strange movie looks just amazing, maybe the best MCU movie ever. I was curious to know why you thought Thor 4 would be better and what everyone else on the team thinks and why. Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And yeah, that he's right. Yesterday on the show, somebody wrote in and they asked, I can't remember exactly how they phrased it, but basically the question is, what's going to be the better movie? Like Doctor Strange or Thor 4? And I said pretty quickly, Thor 4 is going to be the better movie. Now, what I also clarified was, don't get me wrong, I think Doctor Strange is going to be balls awesome. I think it's going to be amazing. I cannot
It's
wait.
gonna be as awesome as balls?
It will be as awesome as balls themselves.
Dang.
Thank you, Manscaped. They're not even a sponsor of today's show. Balls awesome. That should be part of my next Manscaped ad. Balls awesome is how good Doctor Strange is going to be. It's going to be incredible. I cannot wait. But I just have that much faith in Taika Waititi that they're going to make Thor 4 even better. Now, Sam Raimi is great. I love Sam Raimi. I had a wonderful afternoon with Sam Raimi once, actually. It was when he did, I think, his tragically underappreciated Wizard of Oz movie. I actually like what was called Oz the Great and Powerful.
I believe so.
I like that movie. It wasn't his best movie, but I personally like that. And he actually gave me this really cool gold coin that it had to do, and I think he had it with him on set or something like that. And he gave me this gold coin. Super sweet guy. It was the first time I had ever met him. And he was just great. And I really like his movies. But I think if I had to compare, let's look at the previous installments. Doctor Strange and Thor Ragnarok. I very much like Doctor Strange, the first movie, very much. Thor Ragnarok to me was better. And that's not a knock on the original Doctor Strange. It was great. I feel like Paul Rudd in Civil War. Yeah, I know you too, Doctor Strange. You're great. Doctor Strange is great. But Thor Ragnarok was mind-boggling entertaining. What Taika Waititi, Academy Award winner Taika Waititi, by the way, what he was able to do with that movie, he made it before Infinity War, up until Infinity War. It was the darkest MCU movie ever. And I always get people look at me weird when I say that, but John, it's really fun. It's a funny movie. Yeah, because that's what Taika Waititi can do. But look at what happens in that movie.
Look at Jojo Rabbit.
Look
Lord.
at Jojo. Yeah.
That movie has tons of jokes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still about a horrible, horrible, terrifying subject.
Outrageously humorous while never taking the subject matter lightly.
Exactly.
I don't know how Taika Waititi did that. That's why he won an Academy Award. But when you look at Thor Ragnarok, and the reason I say it is up until Infinity War happened, it was the darkest of all the MCU movies. Between things like Thor losing his eye, the death of Odin, the destruction of Mjolnir, the destruction of Asgard, having to arrange for the death of his own sister. Like, when you actually look at what happens in that movie, it is quantifiably the darkest MCU movie they've done. And yet, I don't think I ever laughed as hard as I did in Thor Ragnarok. I mean, that's just what Taika Waititi can do. Taika Waititi, some people think he directed the best episodes of Mandalorian Season 1. That was never felt like they gave anything less than the pure seriousness to the very serious things that were going on, and yet he made it freaking hilarious and entertaining and engaging all at the same time. When you can build off of that, and Thor, other than Steve Rogers' Captain America, Thor is my next favorite MCU character. So I can only speak for my own thing. So to see him come back in this, plus you add on top of that Christian Bale in there as Gore the God Butcher, which is one of the characters I'm most excited about seeing. Just the fact that Christian Bale would say yes to doing that character after he swore he would never do comic book movies again. That tells me that script's got to be pretty damn good.
Russell Crowe.
Well, Russell Crowe, I'm sure it's going to be a pretty small role,
but come on.
My favorite, I think the best actor in the world right now, and now that Daniel Day-Lewis is retired. So yeah, Russell Crowe, you're going to have at least a part of the movie is going to have the Guardians of the Galaxy in it, which I love. Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana, and I think that's super exciting too. You just look at all that wrapped up into one, and then when you understand the underlying story that this movie will be influenced by, which is the story of Gore the God Butcher. The source material there is super rich. Now, how much they'll deviate from it, who knows? We don't know. So, while I absolutely 1,000% agree that Doctor Strange is going to be awesome, it is for those reasons that I really believe that Thor 4 will be the better movie. And I'm going to say this too. There's a lot of different ways. The more bonkers a movie is, the crazier good it can be. But there's also introduces more ways that it can fly off the rails. It introduces more opportunities for this thing to fall apart. I am not saying it's going to fall apart. I have all the faith in the world in Sam Raimi. I'm just saying that. So, look, at the end of the day, and I said this yesterday, we, the fans, the audience, are going to be the winners. Because I believe we're going to get two fantastic movies. I think they're both going to be great. I think Doctor Strange will probably make more money than Thor does. But I think right now, and I might change my tune after watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but right now I am sticking with Thor 4. There we go. Again, I reserve the right to change my mind later once we start watching the movies, but my prognostication, my guess, blind guess, is that Thor 4 is going to be the better movie. So, Chris, I want to put it over to you. What's that?
I was going to say, your blind guess with a safety net.
With a giant safety net. Yeah, right now.
I've got a trampoline under me, just in case.
Absolutely. We're taking wild guesses here. But, Chris, as you look at the buildup we've got to Doctor Strange, all the things going into it, we know what we're getting also in Thor 4 with Taika Waititi and all that kind of stuff. Right now, blind guess, and we're not going to hold you to this, but if you had to guess right now,
The internet will.
4 months from now, as we look back on these two movies, which one do you guess that you're going to be saying was the better movie, and why do you think that is? What makes you feel that way right now?
I think I'm in the same camp as you. I know that multiverse is going to be bonkers. I know it is going to have big, big consequences for the MCU as a whole. But I do think it is going to be a very exposition-heavy moment for the MCU, whereas Thor 4 is going to be very, very character-driven. And the fact that we are dealing with Gore the God Butcher makes me so hyped. This is, okay, I kind of paraphrased this quote earlier in the week. This is why Christian Bale is coming to this role. Listen to this. My name is Gore, son of a nameless father, outcast from a forgotten world. I have slain my way through multitudes to stand here at the genesis of all things, blackened by vengeance, wet with holy blood. Whoa. Oh my gosh, what a line. And Gore believes the gods are at fault for all of the tragedy in his life, right? His mate was killed. All of his children were slain. Most of his species was murdered. And he blames the gods because he came from a very, very zealous religious background.
Yes.
And so now it's, I must exterminate all those gods because they are at fault for not being true and just to their worshipers.
And what does he come across?
A god! Oh, the Necrosword.
The Necrosword.
Which is going to be so amazing if we have that, right? Because we have the whole issue with having Helena having it.
Right.
Yeah. Hela, excuse me. But then having that juxtaposed with Thor, who has lost everything, who has lost absolutely everything in his life, and is a god who has nothing and has forsaken his kingdom and abdicated from the throne. That is going to be so compelling from a character standpoint that I know that's the story that I'm going to just be really, really riveted by the character issues.
Ray, let's go over to you. It's your turn. You're up to bat here. So imagine yourself now 4 months from now. We've seen Doctor Strange. We've seen Thor 4. Wild guess. What right now do you think is going to be the movie you end up liking more?
I'll say two things. Like Chris said, Doctor Strange 2 is going to have more of an impact on the MCU, I think, in whole. But Thor, because Thor, sometimes he's off in his own little thing, right? That doesn't really affect everything else. It seems like, I mean, they eventually connect it, but I think I probably would rewatch or like Thor 4 more, just because of the Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth jabbing back and forth. I really like when they do that. I find it, I just find it humorous. But I will say right now, Doctor Strange does have the better trailer. So
well, it's only got the only trailer.
I know.
Right? Now, that's
100% confirmed by me.
Yeah, but don't forget, trailers are corporately produced pieces of marketing manipulation.
Absolutely.
Right? Don't forget that. Trailers are corporate produced pieces of marketing manipulation. They are designed to manipulate us. I love trailers, but they are designed to manipulate us. So, like, don't read too much into a trailer.
I'll also say that Aviation Gin is probably more suited for the multiverse of madness.
Yeah.
And by the way, just to be clear to everyone everywhere, we are not sponsored.
We're not sponsored. We just really like that gin.
Aviation Gin.
We just
want to
really
be very,
like it.
very clear about that.
It's just real tasty.
Although they did send us a couple of free cases, and we're very grateful for it. But we are not sponsored by them. So listen, I put up a poll. And I am shocked by the results because I honestly thought, because we haven't had any trailers for Thor, I thought this was going to be 90-10 for Doctor Strange. But I put up the poll and I asked our viewers, which do you think will be the better movie, Doctor Strange 2 or Thor 4? And right now, 65% are saying Doctor Strange 2 and 35% are saying Thor 4.
I'm going to reword my thing. After the movies have come out, I would find myself probably rewatching Thor 4 more, just because it's usually Taika Waititi. He's like, his movies are usually just fun and they're rewatchable to me. But like in Doctor Strange 2, it seems like it might be a little dark, where it'd be like my thing with the Batman and No Way Home, where like, even though, like I said, that I would probably watch No Way Home more than the Batman. Only because of the themes of, it's just a darker movie.
Yeah.
What Doctor Strange seems to be. I don't know.
You know, when you're feeling a little like, I need to watch a fun movie, you're not gonna be like, Shawshank.
Yeah.
You know? You want something that, even though Spider-Man No Way Home hits hard, you want something fun still. And Batman hits a little hard.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Question is for you. We've got 2 extremely highly anticipated movies coming. We got Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness, which I already got tickets to several screenings of it for. And we've got Thor 4 Thor, Love and Thunder, coming with Christian Bale as Gore the Godslayer.
So good.
So much goodness on the horizon. Which one, think of yourselves, fast forwarding 4 months in the future, which one do you think, if you could ask future self, which of these two movies did you enjoy more? What do you think the answer is going to be? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys, we're now going to go over and take your live comments and questions. You guys can now send them in. We've opened up the super chat feature for you there, and we'll get to those in just a second after a word from one of the sponsors of today's episode of the John Campea Show, the excellent folks over at ExpressVPN. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, ExpressVPN. Now, guys, does it make sense that the same company who controls half the online retail also passively eavesdrops on your private conversations at home? Or what about the idea that a single company controls 90% of the internet searches, runs your email service, and gets to track everything you do on your smartphone? You guys know that big tech is more powerful than most countries are, and they profit by exploiting your personal data. It's time to put a layer of protection between your online activity and these tech juggernauts, and that's why I use ExpressVPN. You see, when you run ExpressVPN on your device, the software hides your IP address, something that big tech companies can use to personally identify you. So ExpressVPN makes your activity harder to trace and sell to advertisers. ExpressVPN also encrypts 100% of your internet data to keep you safe from hackers and eavesdroppers on your network. So stop handing over your personal data to the big tech monopoly that mines your activity and sells your information. Protect yourself with a VPN that I trust to keep me safe online. Visit expressvpn.com/Campea. That's expressvpn.com/Campea to get 3 extra months free. Go to expressvpn.com/Campea right now to learn more. And thank you to the good folks at ExpressVPN for sponsoring today's episode of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys. With that all down, let's now go over and take your live comments and questions that you guys have been sending in there. We're going to keep the super chats open for another couple of minutes before we're filled up. So go ahead and make sure you guys get those in there as quick as you can. All right, Chris, what do we got up here first?
I believe we're starting with Michael Hamilton, sending in a $2 donation.
All right,
and then
thank
we've
you,
got
Michael.
Wet Donkey. Just saw a Variety article. Warner Brothers Discovery are talking about a DC Entertainment overall. Thoughts?
Just saw a Variety article about Warner Brothers Discovery are talking about a DC Entertainment overall.
Do you think like a
Overhaul.
Maybe he means overhaul.
Yeah.
Overhaul would make more sense. I mean, yeah, listen, now we're going to start getting some information coming in here pretty soon about what's the David Zaslav-led Warner Brothers going to be. And one of the very first things he's going to have to look at is the DC situation. So I have no doubts we're going to hear about some changes going on. Maybe some people moving around, maybe maybe a promotion for some people, maybe some people getting removed. But yeah, I think we can expect here pretty soon to start hearing about a lot of this stuff coming out now. So let's keep our eyes open. All right, what's next?
All right, from A. Marcellus. Speaking of recaps, I'm so grateful that Horizon Forbidden West had a quick recap at the beginning since I hadn't played the first game in 2 years.
I mean, yeah, so some video games do stuff like that, which is a really good idea. It might not be a bad idea. Listen, I've never played any of the Horizon games, I should
They're
say.
stunning.
I've seen some footage on YouTube. It looks beautiful. I just don't know how. I'm terrible with a controller. I'm a keyboard and mouse guy. So really difficult games on console, I usually got to stay away from because my brain's just not wired for a controller. I'm a mouse and keyboard guy, but it looks so beautiful that I'm really tempted to try it.
I have Logan play. I'm a control thrower. I get real frustrated real easily. So I have Logan play and then I sit and watch everything. This is why I usually play Pokemon Snap.
I should give this to you, so whenever we discuss a topic that whenever we bring up Morbius,
whenever Morbius is here, I just throw
this against the wall or something like that. All right, what is next?
From Stubble McShave, The Kids in the Hall is coming back, now to Amazon. Do you think the comedic connects still are funny, and do you think their comedy is relevant for today?
These are the Daves I know. These are the Daves I know. I used to love Kids in the Hall. Actually, one of them went on to do like a national radio program that they had me on the radio program with them every week. They used to call me in to give my movie insights and stuff like that.
That's rad.
Are they still funny today? I don't know. I mean, listen, that's the thing about people who are really good at comedy it's not like something you lose. You either have that natural sense of comedic sensibilities or you don't. So I will look forward to it with great anticipation. Will their comedy stylings feel dated? I don't know. All I know is that I'm excited to find out. All right, what's next?
From Luis, good morning, everyone. I think I have a name for the new show. The Jerk Show. John, Aaron, Ray, Rob, and Chris. What do you think? Just kidding.
Yeah, that would never be lived down if that was...
Very true.
That's a pretty good all over our initials or whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually.
It's not bad. But like, what happens to our sign out? Like, all right, guys.
See you later. You
Jerking it.
Jerk
Jerking
off.
it.
It's like, I don't... time to start jerking it. What? No.
It would bring on the filthy.
Have you jerked it this morning?
That becomes the ad slogan, right?
Yeah.
Have you jerked it this morning?
Have you had your morning jerk? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget your morning jerk.
All right, what's next?
I could go all day, baby.
Seconds from Disaster, 1 of 3. When they imprison me, tell Mark to free me. I love that he believes in Mark so much, but I think it'll be Steven to free him, making Khonshu respect him more. Also, if you Google Moon Knight cast, Loic Manbanza is listed as Bushman and showed up in episode 3 as Anton's bodyguard who fights Layla. So why... Oh, there we go. Didn't he and Mark recognize each other? Do you think he will play into the Moon Knight origin like the comics? Thanks.
I think sometimes, honestly, the credits and what people are listed at is sometimes we give it more weight than it was ever intended to have. Like, I'm not so sure there's any relevance there whatsoever. But getting back to the first thing you were talking about, Seconds from Disaster, the whole idea about could Steven be the one to rescue Khonshu? Maybe. I don't know how that happens because clearly what we saw in the last episode is Mark's the warrior, right? So like Steven can fool around for a bit. He gets run through with the pole. Mark, you take control. That was a great moment, by the way. I love that. But I mean, I think like one of the things I really liked about the last episode was that Khonshu started to show some respect for Steven, right? And I thought that was kind of a cool evolution of their relationship and their development. I still think at the end of the day, it'll be Mark that gets Khonshu out. I mean, maybe yes, maybe no, but we'll find out.
I want to add a thank you to Seconds from Disaster. I just got a shirt from him for his logo. And I got some shirts for you guys too. I just forgot to bring it in, but thank you for that. Yay! I'll be wearing mine pretty soon because like I said, your name was the name of my favorite Discovery or National Geographic TV show called Seconds from Disaster.
I'd never even heard of it.
That's so nice.
I learn there's something new every day. All right, what's next?
From Fanjecture, Fantastic Beasts 3 box office, over under 44 mil.
Ooh, that's a good line. That's a good over-under line because it's going to be close to that. I think it's going to be close to that. I'll tell you right now, it is a movie that deserves to make over that. Mm-hmm. It's not the greatest Harry Potter movie of all time. It's definitely the best to me of the Fantastic Beasts movie. I think this is a good movie. This is a good, solid movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit and loved it. I think it's going to be between 40 and 44. So I'm going to take under on that. I think it makes over 40, but I'm going to go under 44. Do you guys have guesses on this, Chris?
I mean, the reviews have been outstanding. So, really? I thought most of the critics at first were like, this is great.
A lot of the first reactions were quite positive.
Yeah.
It's sitting around a 60, I think around a 58, 59, 60%,
Ooh,
which is like double what the last one was.
That's true.
But I mean, it hasn't exactly been super glowing things. But then again, I think some of those critics,
they're bringing in the baggage of everything else.
well, and by the way, I'm not trying to put words in their mouths. They have literally said in their own reviews, like half of their reviews was about the drama going on outside of the movie. It's like, okay, so clearly you were like, from your own words, I can tell that a few of these reviews were more about they weren't going to like this movie no matter what because of their opinions on whether it's the Johnny Depp situation, whether it's the opinions of J.K. Rowling. Didn't
Ezra
matter.
Miller.
They weren't going to like it. So it wasn't going to be a 90% movie anyway. So I don't know.
I think it'll be right around 44, honestly. I think it'll kind of be on the nose for that because they really are pushing in these promos. I went and saw Everything Everywhere All at Once finally last night, and there was a very poorly done, but I see what they're doing. Promo for this film of just like Harry Potter fans have loved this franchise for over 20 years and blah, 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 blah. So they're really, really trying to appeal to all the Potterheads out there. So I
Sure,
think
yeah,
people
yeah.
are going to show up, and I think it'll just be a little shy of 50.
By the way, speaking of Everything Everywhere All at Once, Ann and I were last night, got a call, and I got asked if they could use one of my reactions to the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once from our show, asking, can we use that in some of the bonus features for Everything Everywhere All at Once? And I'm like, yeah, it's my favorite movie of the year. By all means, you go ahead and use the clip of me doing that.
So good.
I'm all for it. All right.
Best movie ever, baby. I haven't seen it, but you can use that.
So good.
Oh, so good.
So good.
All right, what's next?
All right, from Caden. Doctor Strange will be the better movie, but Thor Love and Thunder will be a more enjoyable movie.
See, to me, that's a contradictory statement. If a movie is more enjoyable, it's the better movie. That's just the thing to me, because movies are experiential events. Whatever movie delivers the best experience for you, whether it's dramatic experience, excitement experience, sadness experience, thought-provoking experience, horror experience, adventure experience, whatever movie delivers the best experience, that to you then is the best movie. So
Yeah.
like, to me, if I enjoy this movie more, that means it's the better movie.
Then how can I say the Batman is the better movie, but I like I wouldn't.
It's all subjective.
Oh,
man.
okay,
That's
okay.
the beautiful thing
I just
about the art.
thought
It's
you
all
were saying that.
subjective.
Okay.
See, I think Thor is also going to be the more enjoyable movie, which why to me it's the better movie.
Oh, I see.
Because movies are but experiential events. But that will vary from person to person. That's the beautiful thing about film. There's no one hard and fast rule about art and how you interpret it and what it means to you. That's the thing about art. There are too many people out there who think it's quantifiable and think it's objective. It's not. No art is objective. And so while that is the thing to me, whatever movie is the most enjoyable, that to me is the best movie. That may not be the same for you.
Oh.
And that's the beautiful thing about the art form. All right, what's next?
From Andy, 1 of 4. I found Turning Red and Everything Everywhere All at Once to be relatable to me as an Asian American born and raised by Asian immigrants, and as someone. Where's 2, Andy? Did we go straight to 3? Andy, you're wild.
And we missed out on Andy's number 2. All right, just go with number 3.
Right.
Oh, there's 2 number 3s. Okay.
Our parents push us hard. I get that they intend well, but I sometimes feel that the reason they set such high expectations is so they can
I don't know if you got the 4th one in. There it is.
vicariously live through us and fulfill the dreams and goals they wish they could have achieved but failed or couldn't see all the way through themselves.
Is that not every parent?
Yeah, I think that's
That's
everything.
not that's an Italian trait.
I was going to say.
That's a Canadian trait. That's an American trait. That's an Asian trait. I don't know that that's an
Yeah.
every one thing.
I will say one of my friends does talk about being a model minority a lot. My friend Miju will talk about this and that extra pressure of the excellence that is asked to come from being both, she's Asian and Middle Eastern. And that she feels this extra pressure to do that and also assimilate, but still be living in these various worlds and things. But yeah, I know when my grandparents immigrated here, it was very much, you can only do these things and you have to fit in this way.
But like, look, I'm not Asian. I am married into an Asian family. But
Do you feel that pressure, Ray?
It's always medical. It's always medical that they try to get you in,
Oh.
like some sort of medical thing, or like because it's just the pressure is, especially with 2 genius sisters, is very. There was a lot of pressure, and but it's I think it's the same with every parent.
I still remember the one Joe Coy thing. It's like, nurses, man.
Yeah.
Filipino parents just want you to be a nurse. And people laugh. Oh, you think I'm being stereotypical? How many of you are Filipino? And they'll bunch of people, how many of you are nurses? And like so many people are there. I say, see, I told you. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. But listen, I was going to say, I am not Asian, but that's the thing about movies, man. Like whether you're talking about, obviously I could relate a little bit more to Turning Red because it was based in Canada, but Everything Everywhere All at Once. We all have universal human experiences that are just expressed in different ways through different cultures. And when a movie is done really well, you can watch A Crazy Rich Asians, or you can watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding,
Yep.
or you can watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. And if a movie's done well, you will identify that shared human experience, even if it's expressed a little bit differently in something else. So, by the way, I love Andy. I love both of those movies. Everything
They're
Everywhere
so
All at Once is
great.
my number one film of the year, and I adored Turning Red. I thought that was fantastic. All right, what's next?
My Comic Planet. My early Emmy predictions. Actor limited series. Andrew Garfield, Oscar Isaac, Sebastian Stan, Michael Keaton, and Ben Foster. I have Oscar winning. Thoughts?
Oscar.
I have not watched Hungry. Is that what it's called? Hungry? The one with
Fresh.
Sebastian Stan? Fresh, sorry. I have not watched Fresh yet, so I cannot give an opinion. Which Andrew Garfield one are we talking about?
Oh, there's one where I think he's a investigator.
Okay, so I haven't seen that. I have seen Michael Keaton. And which one are we talking about?
Under
for
the
Ben?
Banner of Heaven.
What's the Ben Foster one? I can't remember that.
Uh,
Anyway, here's the thing. It's way too early. It's April. It's way too early to be making Emmy predictions right now.
Variety just did, which was a bold claim.
Variety did?
Variety put out some early ones because they put Ben Schwartz out for After Party.
Are they desperate for content? Anyway, hey, sometimes it's a light news day and you got to do what you can do. Look, I will say this though. If the Emmy nominations were to come out tomorrow, I would be completely in support of Oscar Isaac getting a nomination.
Oh yeah.
He's crushing it.
Like, look, Paul Bettany got an Emmy nomination. Elizabeth
So did
Olsen
Elizabeth.
got an Emmy nomination. I could totally see it happening. Listen, if Oscar continues on to kill it in the final 3 episodes like it did in the first, it's very feasible. It's absolutely feasible. All right, what's next?
From Ismail. Hey, John. Pending to see the mental institution shot from the Moon Knight trailers. Over under 50% that Mark is sedated, dreaming about Layla, who is a woman from the institution, and Harrow, the psychiatrist.
I'm going to go under. It's definitely a possibility, but I don't think we're actually going to see him in an institution. And if we do, I think it might be a flashback. So again, there's just so many theories right now, and I can't. You may be 100% on the money here, Ismail. You could be 100% on the money here. I will go under 50% though, but let's see what happens. Moon Knight, baby! I've been
Moon
loving
Knight.
this damn show. All right, what's next?
From Chris Miner. Rewatched Best in Show, still one of my favorites.
I showed Ann that movie for the first time.
Is that the dog one?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
I can't watch it.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's just
So
so
good.
ridiculous. I love that entire team because this is the same group of people that also made Mighty Mighty Wind, and a lot of the core of them are the ones who made Spinal Tap, and they just do such good stuff. All right, what's next?
From Jerome. Have any favorite funny moments on Yellowstone? For me, it's when Beth told John he needs to get laid, and some of the what's the bottom part? Oh, Beth Jamie sibling fights.
I think it was in this past season. There's a scene where who plays the dad again? Kevin Costner. When Kevin Costner has met Piper Perabo. You guys remember her from Coyote Ugly, and she
Yeah.
also had a show there for a while too. I love Piper Perabo actually. And she ended up staying the night at his place, right? And his daughter, Beth, who is one of the most vicious and awesome television characters on TV right now. She might be the best TV character in the world right now, is Beth on Yellowstone. And because she is savage. She's absolutely savage. And Beth walks into the kitchen of her dad's house and just sees Piper Perabo in just like a t-shirt. Piper Perabo was a good 30 years younger than Kevin Costner. And it's exactly the conversation you imagine. Who the fuck are you? And Piper Perabo, who the fuck are you? And Beth grabs a huge butcher knife and is like, what the? And it's just this huge exchange. And then Kevin Costner walks in and goes, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? And then Piper Perabo, just to stick it to Beth, goes up and like kisses Kevin Costner deeply before she leaves the room and stuff like that. It is seriously one of the most awkward and hilarious scenes on TV I've seen in a long time. Kevin Costner plays it great. The actress who plays Beth, who's going to win some Emmys before I think the show is done, played it great. Piper Perabo played the scene great. I think it's my funniest one. All right, what's next?
From Peter, there is a recap on Disney Plus. It's called Marvel Legend.
Yeah, and it's not so good. I mean, I tried
haven't
the first
watched
couple
it.
of Marvel Legends. Like, okay, all this is no one's going to watch this. Like, there's no reason to watch it, right? You do something, look, I'm not saying it's got to be Michael Pena, but you do something like that, well, now there's a reason to watch it. Like, that one is just, Marvel Legends stuff is just kind of also on Disney Plus, tucked away somewhere under the mountain of other content that nobody cares about. But you do something fresh with it, it could be really special. All right, what's next?
From My Comic Planet, I watched As Good as It Gets recently and forgot
So
how great
good.
Greg Kinnear was. He was also great in Sabrina, which made me wonder, what happened to his career? Never see him anymore. Underrated actor.
You know what? I love Greg Kinnear.
He was just in The Stand.
Oh, was he in the stand?
Yeah, he was great in The Stand.
Well, he's great in everything. Listen,
Yeah.
you can talk about As Good as It Gets, which is truly one of the great movies ever made. Sabrina is one of my favorite Harrison
love
Ford
that
movies.
movie.
I love Sabrina. But it doesn't matter. Greg Kinnear can win 3 Oscars between now and when his career is done. There is only one Greg Kinnear role. It's Captain Amazing.
There you go.
Captain Amazing from Mystery Men is the definitive Greg Kinnear.
Are you guys going to do Mystery Men
I
for
haven't
Movie
seen
Club?
Mystery Men.
You haven't seen Mystery Men?
You're so lucky. It's so fun.
It's so good.
Actually, I think you'd love that movie.
It's so far
I
ahead of
think
its
you'd
time.
have so much fun with that movie.
You would love it. It's totally a Ray kind of movie.
Yeah.
It's not too long. It's super funny.
It's super
and it was
funny.
a movie that was way ahead of its time. Actually, one of my prized possessions. I still have it wrapped up in this protective thing over here. I'm gonna frame it and hang it up in the new office. But a legendary, iconic Hollywood designer, Marilyn Vance, who did Pretty Woman and Die Hard, and she basically designed the look of the movies in the 80s and the 90s, and she's still going strong today. But she heard me talk about the fact that I love Mystery Men so much. They reached out and said, hey, I dug around and I pulled out my original sketch, my original concept sketch for Captain Amazing. Would you like it? And after I changed my pants, I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they sent over this beautiful, I'll pull it out and show it to you guys sometime. Her first concept designing for Mystery Men. And it's my most prized movie possession. As far as movie stuff goes, it's my most prized movie possession. I absolutely love it. I love Greg Kinnear. All right, what's next?
From nope, that's a repeat.
Okay.
From Rob. Wow, Rob was great on today's show.
I would say he's never been better.
Oh man,
It's never been. Again, once again, for those of you guys who missed out on Rob, notify me that he still had a couple of last minute things he had to do for his move. Don't worry about it though. Rob will be back again tomorrow. All right, what's next?
from Cody Hunt. Lest we forget about Carrie Elwes' best performance as Jerry, the stepdad from Liar Liar. The claw just doesn't hit the same. LOL.
Oh my! Oh no!
it's
The
the
claw!
claw coming
That
for
was
you.
so uncomfortable. You know what? I mentioned the other day that I can only remember him, obviously from Princess Bride, as Wesley, and other than that, I remember him in Oogie Loves and Saw.
Men in Tights.
And then, of course, Men in Tights. I can speak with the proper British accent. A bunch of people wrote in later to remind me of a list of like a bunch of other movies that he's done, like a bunch of other ones that he's done. So he's had a more prolific career than I think we give him credit for.
Oh man.
All right.
You know how much I love bad Christmas movies, right?
Oh yes.
He did one with Brooke Shields this past year that I was just like, I couldn't quit it.
I didn't know
it's
she was
so
still
bad.
acting.
Yeah. It's she goes to Scotland to work on her latest romance novel, and he's there and he's grumpy and they fall in love, but then they're like, oh, but also I hate you. Oh man.
All right, sign me up for that. What's next?
From Andy Mooney. Hey John, it's game day for me because I get to see the Northman tonight.
Oh.
When do you plan to see the film?
Ray, what's opening day for Northman? I know it's this month. Can you look that up for me?
Yes, sir.
I know it's this month, but I can't remember. Listen, I've said this, that after The Batman, more than Thor, Love and Thunder, more than Doctor Strange 2, The Northman is my most anticipated movie. Like Batman was my number one most anticipated movie of the year, and then it's The Northman.
The 22nd.
So it's the 22nd. So
Yeah.
on the 21st, so next week, next Thursday is when I'll get to see The Northman. I haven't seen it yet. God, I'm so dying to see it. I'm very, very jealous, Adam, that you're going to get to go see it tonight. Super jealous you're going to get to go see it tonight. I hope you love it because, man, I'm so excited for this one, man. All right, what's next?
Before we go on, Chris Cross, the long name.
Yeah.
He had a second part. He just put that he can't wait to see Duel
Oh, okay.
this weekend.
I thought you were
To see
talking
what?
to me in the
No,
chat.
no.
You can't wait to see what this weekend?
Duel. Dual. Let me look that up.
I can't remember which one Duel is.
I,
I'm sure once Ray reads it off, I'll remember it. Anyway, let's
it's
keep
just
going while Ray
a
looks that
weird
up.
Yu-Gi-Oh movie. Just
It's with Karen Gillan
Oh, love her.
and Aaron Paul.
Wait, isn't that a series or is that a movie? I thought it was a series.
A woman opts for a cloning procedure. It's a movie.
Yes. Okay, so I remember this one. She finds out she's dying, but in this world, you can have flash cloning done where you can clone yourself to help your family if you are going to die. So Karen Gillan finds out that she's dying, right? So she decides to go and get herself cloned so her clone can be there for her family and friends.
Like Swan Song.
Like Fonz.
Something like that.
Okay.
But she later finds out she's not dying.
Oh.
And there's a rule. There's a law.
Highlander rule.
There's a law that says there can be only one. So once it's established she's not dying, they set a date where the clone and the original have to fight to the death.
Whoa, cool.
Have to have a fight to the death.
That sounds so cool.
So she goes and finds Aaron Paul to train her for that fight because she's not a fighter, right?
Dang.
So it looks pretty funny. And it also looks like it's going to raise some interesting questions. So yes, I am looking, even though I totally forgot the name of it, I am looking forward to that one as well.
Dude, I gotta see this.
All right,
Yeah.
what's next?
Oh my gosh. From Jasmine Jones, part 1. I think if people stopped watching The Flash, they should watch season 8. It's good so far with the Armageddon storyline and the Black Flame storyline.
See if I can find part 2 to that. I cannot find part 2. Oh, is
wait,
that
there we
it?
go.
There it is.
The mystery of who's behind Black Flame is really interesting, and how they just revealed the villain with someone from the past in some interesting time.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Jeremy. Or Jasmine, I should say. I should say this. I have not watched any of season 8. I tapped out round close to the end of season 7.
Yeah.
Was season 7 the one with the Mirror Master?
I think so.
Okay, so I was right when that, and I was like, okay, now I'm done. I'm over this and everything.
Yeah.
I will say though, I have heard from several people who have watched season 8, and none of them have recommended I watch it.
Yeah.
So you are the first one, Jasmine. That's the beautiful thing about TV shows. It's all subjective, just like movies. And if you like it, I'm glad you liked it. But I will tell you this: you are the first person to tell me it's any good. Everybody else I know who has watched season 8 has said, "Don't bother." So I'm probably not going to check it out, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I'm sure there are probably others who do as well. All right. Yeah, Ray.
Side note, Duel is 1 hour and 35 minutes.
Oh, it's perfect.
The duration
Short-ass movie.
every movie should be. There we go. It's a definite watch for
It's
me.
already an
I'm not
Oscar
about-
winner.
yeah.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. All right, what's next?
From All Hail Thanos. Hey, love the show. You are all awesome. Me and my wife just saw Sonic 2 yesterday. So good. Really enjoyed it. I agree the Hawaii scene could have been left out. Anyway, sending love from Chicago. Bring on the filthy.
Oh, thank you so
Thanos.
much.
Yeah.
And I am so glad you like Sonic 2. It's just, listen,
Great.
one of the great things about coming out of the pandemic era is knowing that just people are going and having a good time. Even if it's something I don't like hearing people going to a movie, I didn't like Morbius all that much, but I love hearing from people who did.
Yeah.
I didn't like Uncharted all that much, but I love seeing that Ray did have a great time. That's the great thing about the movies, man. They create great, fun experiences. You go, you have a good time, shared experiences with friends or family or whatever. I just love it. I love hearing people having a good time at the movies.
Sonic making money, baby.
Yeah.
And it's making money. And you know what? I said before, listen, second weekend, obviously, Fantastic Beasts is going to be #1 at the box office. I'm not so sure. Sonic, I mean, look,
Got legs.
Sonic,
Fast little legs.
fast, quick little legs. It should come in around $30 to $35 million. Because even if it makes $35, $36 million, that's only a 50% drop. That would be very impressive. Fantastic Beasts should make more than that. But it is possible that Sonic could be #1 at the box office again. We'll have to see. All right, what's next?
From Kyle Starr, why was Ant-Man in the end credit New York scene musical in Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
For
he
comedy?
wasn't just in the end scene music. He's in all of that. Because if you remember at the beginning of Hawkeye, the beginning of that series, that he's watching it, Ant-Man's in that entire thing. And that was the joke in that scene, because Hawkeye unleashed his daughter. That guy wasn't even there. But they decided to add the character in there.
Well,
So
and there's some fun fan theories of because of Ant-Man going back to the Battle of New York with everyone, that somebody saw him.
and changed perception of
yeah.
history.
And then, well, Ant-Man was there the whole time.
I like that theory. I had not heard that theory before. I like that one. Thanks for writing that in,
Ooh.
Kyle. All right, what's next?
From Jake Booth, 1 of 2, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Jake.
Hi, John and crew. I saw an article earlier that HBO Max's adaptation of The Last of Us game is similar to how Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni treat Mandalorian.
Okay, yeah, so,
There's a second part.
okay. Oh, is there? Oh, that was 1 of 2.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can find Jake here.
Jake, where'd you go?
Oh,
There we
he
are.
is.
My question is, what other games developed into show films would you want to see treated this way? Thanks and bring on the filthy.
Well, first of all, Jake, it's important to note here, we have no idea what they meant by that. There was a simple off-the-hand remark that was kind of made by Pedro Pascal, who simply said that they kind of took the same approach, but we have no idea
Yeah.
what that meant. Like, he wasn't specific about it at all.
They set out and they were like, hey, we're going to make something good.
Yeah.
Like, that literally could be what he means.
I mean, so we don't know what he meant by that specifically. So I have no idea. So when you say, what other video games do you want to see approached that way? Well, what way? Like, when he says they kind of approached The Last of Us, the same way Mandalorian did, does he mean that in the way they did their scheduling? Does he mean that in the way that,
using different directors.
yeah, I mean, using different, like, we simply don't know.
Yeah.
So look, obviously, with Mandalorian being as beloved as it is, any comparison to the Mandalorian is a good thing.
Yeah.
But unless we have some kind of specifics as to what does that actually mean when he says he compares it, it's hard to really say. All I know is this. I have hope that The Last of Us is going to be the best video game adaptation we've ever had, because it's based on the best storytelling we've ever had out of a video. I'm not saying Last of Us is the best video game movie ever made or the best video game ever made, but I'm saying it's the best story out of any video game movie ever. And I have high hopes that it's going to be great.
HBO too.
And it's
I think-
HBO. They
I
are the
think it'll be
best of the
great.
best.
I think it'll be really, really good. And if this does well, I would love to see those Horizon games adapted. I think those would be
Ooh.
excellent.
That'd be so
live action.
expensive.
It would be so expensive.
All right. What's next?
From Fifi. Every time I watch the Doctor Strange 2 trailer, I get corporate funded and manipulated. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Look, again, you know how much I love movie trailers. I made a documentary about it. I dedicated a year of my life to making a documentary about them. But I'm also cognizant of what they are. Like, this discussion comes up when people say, don't listen to critics, decide for yourself. Well, what are you saying? Are you saying you go to every single movie that comes out everywhere? Well, no. Well, then, if you don't listen to other people's opinions about the movie, what is deciding for yourself? And they always come back with, well, I base my decision on the trailer. I'm like, okay, hold up. Let's explore that for a second. So you're saying, don't listen to other people's opinions who have nothing to gain or lose by whether or not you like a movie or not. They're just giving you their own honest opinion about it. But you will listen to a corporately produced piece of marketing that is designed specifically to manipulate you. You'll listen to the corporate overlords. You'll listen to the corporate masters pitching you a piece of manipulation. But you won't listen to other people who have no connection to the movie whatsoever and really don't care whether you see a movie or not. That, to me, doesn't make any sense. That being said, fuck, I love that trailer.
Oh my God,
I
it's
love
so
that
good.
corporately produced piece of manipulation. I love it.
Logan's friends with one of the gals who edits a lot of the Marvel trailers. And it is always just this like weird song and dance of like, is everything in there real? And her going, I don't know. Is it? Do, 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 do.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
they're masterfully done. They're so well done.
Yeah, but look, as far as corporately produced pieces of marketing manipulation, they are the best. They're really damn good. All right, what's next?
From Bamaham Yum. Rob, say nothing if you love new Star Trek.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about
He's
it.
revving up.
Nope, that's his answer.
Oh man,
He
Rob.
loves the new Star Trek.
Aw.
All right,
Rob.
what's next?
From Jedediah, will we see a Red Skull Hydra cameo in Doctor Strange 2? It definitely makes sense given Wanda's traumatic past. Example, Ultron post-credits.
Yeah, but she had no experience with Red Skull. So I would say no. I don't think we're going to see Red Skull. Look, I would love nothing more than for Hugo Weaving to come back and play Red Skull again. But that's clearly not going to happen. And while his appearance by another actor, they swapped actors,
good.
who was very Hugo Weaving-ish, but it wasn't Hugo Weaving. While that appearance of him in Endgame / Infinity War was really good, I don't see them bringing him back anymore. I would love it if they did, but I don't think they will.
Yeah. And that actor is Ross Marquand, who's on Walking Dead. He does amazing impressions. If y'all have not watched his impressions, it's uncanny
His
how
Hugo
good he
Weaving
is.
thing was stupid good. Stupid good. All right, what's next?
From Ben Rayner, which director do you like better, James Mangold or Taika Waititi? I'd choose Mangold for Logan alone. What about you?
I never pick a director for one movie alone. Whenever you're talking about directors, look at the body of work. Mangold has a very impressive body of work. And so while I love Taika Waititi, I need to see more. Obviously what he did with Thor Thor Ragnarok was incredible. What he did with Jojo Rabbit was incredible. What he did with What We Do in the Shadows, incredible. He's got that Next Goal Wins thing that I'm very, very curious about as well. He's great, but I think I'd have to go with James Mangold on the Chris. What about, when you look at them, like what stands out to you?
They're so different because Mangold does a lot of, essentially Westerns or kind of a Kurosawa kind of vibe to his films, right? Where it's just like the lone samurai, the lone cowboy, those kinds of things, the lone Logan. And Taika does those kind of familial stories of chosen family. So I gravitate more towards Taika's work, but man, does Mangold deliver.
I mean, 3:10 to Yuma.
Oh wow.
So good.
Night and Day, which I think is a very underappreciated Tom Cruise
delightful.
movie. I like that one like a hell of a lot. Ford v Ferrari, which I thought was one of the best movies that came out that year. Logan, which I think is a top 3 greatest comic book movie of all
Absolutely.
time. Copland, which some people think it might be Sylvester Stallone's best movie. I mean, I love Copland. That movie's absolutely incredible. So Walk the Line.
Oh, he did Identity as well.
Yeah.
He also did Identity. I mean, it's just, so right now I'll have to go James Mangold, but based on overall body of work, not so much just for like one thing here or there. All right, what's next?
Irene Jobson, most watched movie versus favorite.
Well, obviously Star Wars are my favorite. Star Wars. It's both. I've never
gonna
seen any
say.
movie more than Star Wars, and those are obviously my favorite movies at the same time as well.
I do watch because when I'm sad, I like to watch just like trashy rom-coms and stuff. Decoy Bride isn't my favorite movie, but I watch it when I need to pick me up.
I've watched Employee of the Month an unhealthy amount of times
Yes,
for
he
some
has.
reason.
He's talked a lot about Employee of the Month to me. All right, what's next?
Blake 62, the trial scene felt almost intentionally weird to me. Almost like it was a ruse and that some of the gods maybe want Amit to rise. Thoughts?
It felt like that. There's been no evidence of that so far, but listen, I loved episode 3. I did. But as a lover of that episode, that the whole trial sequence felt very, it was like, why don't you come with a better argument other than he did it? Okay. Why not explain the scarab? Why not explain what's gone on so far? Because all the other guy had to say is, no, I didn't. And the other gods are like, okay, that's good enough for us. I mean, that whole scene felt very weird to me.
There was something hinky going on.
I loved everything else in the episode, but that scene felt very weird. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher, poor Rob, can't get a word in edgewise.
That's right, keeping him in check today. All right, what's next?
Late night alum, as a fan of The Rock, we know what to expect acting-wise. Is it safe to ask if The Rock who will be playing Black Adam or Black Adam playing The Rock?
We'll have to wait and see. Listen, make no mistake, The Rock is a very capable actor. Go and watch Snitch, or go and watch Faster, or go and watch Pain and Gain, or he has movies where he doesn't do his standard Dwayne The Rock Johnsonism, right? The thing is, he knows the audience loves Dwayne The Rock Johnsonisms. They love it. And that's why he gives the people what they want. Another good example of that is Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Right? Ryan Reynolds Go watch Definitely Maybe. Go watch Buried. Go on. I mean, I could go on. Like Ryan Reynolds shown, he's in my opinion, an Academy level kind of actor.
Absolutely.
But can you correctly say that there are a lot of his movies where he plays Ryan Reynolds-isms? I would completely agree with that. But that's because people seem to love Ryan Reynolds-isms. And so if that's what people love, give them what they love. Do your passion projects later and on the side, like Buried or like Snitch or like things like that. But don't mistake that they are capable. Both Dwayne's not quite as good of an actor as Ryan is, but like they are both absolutely capable actors in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's case. In Ryan Reynolds' case, I think Academy level acting. Mm-hmm. It's just that they kind of also do the things that people love to see. Yeah. All right, what's next?
From Seconds from Disaster, one of two, you mentioned Robin Williams yesterday, which made me want to ask. This August 11th will be 8 years since his death. Would you be willing to do what Dreams May Come for Movie Club that week as tribute? It's a beautiful story about suicide, and that seems really fitting to Robin's real life.
What Dreams May Come is a beautiful movie. There's no doubt about it, but we're not going to do it for Movie Club. Nobody's watched it. Very, very few people watched it. And that's the thing about Movie Club. Movie Club is meant to be, it is not a discover these little movies that you've never seen before. Movie Club is kind of designed, we don't write this anywhere, but in the office, our kind of tagline for Movie Club is celebrating the movies we love of the last 25 years. And when we say we don't just mean me and Rob and Ray. We mean like all of us seem to love these movies and to celebrate the movies we love. And so these smaller films that a lot of people never saw, and a lot of the audience watching the show right now never saw What Dreams May Come. So it doesn't make it a good candidate for that. But it is a beautiful movie. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I mean, you know what could, for the anniversary of Robin Williams passing, either Aladdin would probably be a good one for that. What would be one that maybe more people saw than not? Like Good Will Hunting?
Good Will Hunting, Dead Poet Society.
Everybody knows Oh Captain, My Captain.
Yeah.
What about that one where he ran for president wasn't he?
I know the one you're talking about. No one saw that. Nobody on the planet saw that.
Death to Smoochie.
What about...
God, I love Death to Smoochie.
Death to Smoochie.
You know, when that movie first came out, everybody talked about how much it sucked.
Nah.
And
so good.
And so me and a bunch of buddies, we were in Toronto one time, bunch of buddies hanging out at my buddy's house, ordered some pizza, let's pop in a movie. And all somebody had was Death to Smoochie. And we're like, all right, just for fun, pop it in. And we watched it and we laughed our asses off at it.
What?
It's awesome. Another good one people are mentioning, Hook. Can't do Hook.
Love Hook.
Because Robert Meyer Burnett doesn't like that movie.
Rob has two horrible opinions in my perspective. He doesn't like Hook,
and he likes
doesn't
Gods
like
of
Goonies.
Egypt.
And he does like Gods of Egypt.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't like
Three.
Goonies. That's true. But we can't do Hook because Rob's the
I'll
co-host on the
sub
show.
in that day. I
Maybe
love
you should
Hook.
sub it. I love Hook. Bangarang, Chris.
Roof
Bangarang.
Oh.
All right. What's next?
From Glenn Mark. Hey, John, if you move the open spoiler show to a weekend day, you could call your Moon Knight after show Sunday. Moon Knight Sunday.
That's true. Although I know Glenn Mark is being facetious, but it's always wonderful how much people are willing to fill up my weekends with more work. It's great. I love it. I had somebody write into me, understandably so. So we do our post-game after shows at 4:00 the next day, like 4 p.m. Eastern or Pacific time. That's 7 p.m. You know, I had a couple people write, hey, John, you know what would be great? Can you move it? So, because like 7 p.m., like we're just home from work and probably just have dinner. Can you maybe move it an hour or two later? And I'm like, so you want me working 20 hours a day instead of like 14? You want me to work even further into the evenings? And I totally didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
I totally get it. But yeah, so it's always fun. All right, what's next?
All right, from John Redcorn. Morbius has now made more money domestically than Moonfall worldwide.
It's a success.
Wow. Hey, good
It's
job,
a success.
Morbius.
Well done, Morbius. Well done.
Get it, bud.
Ray's not so thrilled about that.
Well, you know what? It probably deserves it. I mean, come on. It was Moonfall.
I had a better time at Moonfall.
There's a better movie out there of Moonfall, a better version. I believe it.
There's
Make
a
it
better
so, Ray.
script out there somewhere. better script out there somewhere.
Your directorial debut. Moonfall 2, Electric Boogaloo.
What's next?
From Jerome, favorite TV villain death.
No idea. That's something I'd have to sit down and think about for a half hour. I just can't offer one, unfortunately. All right, what's next?
From Ron W357, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Ron.
Hey, John and crew. I just saw that Variety said Warner Brothers Discovery exploring overhaul of DC Entertainment and even mentioned Emma Watts. What exactly does this mean for the future? Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
In what context was he mentioning Emma Watts? Like, what was the context of that? Okay, so
Emma Watts.
look, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that once David Zaslav, the CEO of Discovery, once he took over Warner Brothers, they were going to change some things. And so, yes, an overhauling. Now, what could it look like? Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, Emma resigned from Paramount. So is she in talks to work with Discovery? What? I'm just not sure how she factors in here.
But let's look at this thing here. What possibly could be that? What could this mean for the future? Well, it could mean anything. It could mean that they really don't change much and everything keeps chugging along. It could mean that they scrap the DCEU and they're going to finish out the films they've got on the dock and then they're going to scrap it and reboot it. It could mean they double down on it. It could mean that they go, Ezra's our Flash and we're going to plan 4 more Flash films and we're going to get Henry back in here as Superman. That wouldn't be bad.
That'd be nice.
We're going to do anything is possible. What is not a surprise, though, is one company takes over another company and they look at doing an overhaul of some things. Yeah, we get that. It's not until we start hearing some specifics, though, Ron, I should say. It's not going to be until we start hearing some specifics about what they're looking at, who they're looking at. That might take a little while for us to get a clear picture of. And if David Zaslav is the leader that we believe him to be, it's not going to be like we're going to hear an announcement within 72 hours of when they take over things. He's probably going to give it a little bit of time and think this out. He's going to get some top people in to advise him. We'll see how it goes. But I am looking forward to seeing what they do. I think there are some very, very good days ahead for the DCU under new leadership. Which direction that means, I don't know, but I trust the hands they're in. All right, what's next?
From Jeremy14713, at this point, we should have a trilogy of Flash movies.
9 years. 9 years. It'll be by the time this Flash movie comes out. It was announced when the Flash series was introduced. It won't come out until after season 9 of The Flash is done. That is remarkable. That is absolutely remarkable to me. All right, what's next?
From Mr. Hank Dunn, 1 of 2. Wanda will find out she's a fictional character and break after finding out her troubles are used for our entertainment. She hunts down Feige.
I think you're confusing Deadpool, which that is a Deadpool storyline. I think you're confusing Deadpool with Wanda, but
what was the second part of it?
Oh, is there a part? Oh,
yeah.
There is a part 2. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I can't find it on mine.
No, he never got it in.
No. Oh, sorry.
A little too slow there. A little too slow. Yeah, you don't want to confuse Deadpool with Wanda, but I mean, hey, if any character was going to have that power, it would be her probably.
Yeah, it would
All right,
make
what's
sense.
next?
All right, from second. Oh, we did that one. Cody Hunt. Looks like someone is getting a new suit in Moon Knight.
Really? Maybe there's a promo for episode 4 I haven't seen yet.
Well, and without Khonshu, can he summon the suit?
See, okay, that's what we're talking about. There have been several movies that have been out there of where ex-hero of the movie has some kind of MacGuffin that allows them to access their power. But then they lose that MacGuffin, think for a while they no longer have access to that power, only later to find out the power was in them the entire time. We've seen that play out in several movies and TV shows. I believe we're going to see that trope play out here. Now we're going to find out, because remember...
Wow, spoilers, John. Jeez.
Arthur Harrow
I'm just kidding.
does not have direct access to Amit. Amit is dead and needs to be resurrected. Mm-hmm. But he's got a portion of Amit's power. I think we're going to find out the same thing about Mark Spector. I think we're going to find out that he believes he does not have power now without Khonshu, but he's going to find out, oh, wait, I've got that power in me. Khonshu imparted it in me. Khonshu doesn't need to be there to grant it. I've got it now. I can't base that on anything. It's just my guess, but that's what I think we're going to see.
Yeah. With enough faith, love, and pixie dust, you can be Moon Knight.
Do anything. All right, what's next?
From Kyle Starr. You see Victor Von Doom boxes in the back of Moon Knight car chase.
I don't believe that's true.
Also, the big castle is the same castle in the comics for Von Doom.
I also don't think that's true.
I also just don't see Victor running a cupcake shop.
Yeah, I don't think Von Doom's, is running a pastry business. I don't see that at all. Yeah. All right, what's next?
From William Roush 8657, would you rather eat eggs with ketchup or do an episode of Movie Club on the Terminal? I'd be so down for an episode because of you disliking it.
I mean, I would rather do a Terminal movie club.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I'm in a position where I get to choose to not do either. But yes, if I had to be given, like if Ray and I made a bet and I lost the bet and Ray made me choose between eating more ketchup on eggs or watching the Terminal and doing a movie club on it, I would do the Terminal movie
and
club.
you would have to talk about all the good things that are good with the Terminal.
Because you cannot ask me to lie to my audience. I will not lie to my audience.
Me and Rob are going to have a secret movie club.
That moment right before the movie starts is pretty good.
Yeah, just like as the music starts to play, that's some good music.
Sorry, Ray.
Okay.
Sorry.
All the end
I
credits.
apparently watched the Terminal with my butthole.
Yeah.
The end credits all seem to be spelt properly.
Yeah.
No spelling errors. I'll say that about it. Good stuff. All right,
Tom
what's
Hanks
next?
tries. Elizabeth Hirado finally got to see Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it was great.
So good.
My sister was bawling her eyes out for the mother-daughter storyline. I wasn't. Might be the Virgo in me. Elizabeth, I'm a Virgo, and I sobbed.
Oh, look, I know this show lately has been the Everything Everywhere All at Once fan club. I understand that.
And
But the
rightly
movie
so.
is brilliant. It's so good. I got some real good inside dirt yesterday, too.
Yeah.
I won't share it on this show,
Okay.
but I will tell you about it
Yeah.
privately. But the movie, it is my number one favorite movie of the year so far. I was so, I knew it looked like it could be a lot of fun from when the trailers came out, but I was not expecting it to be. I was just hoping for a mildly good time for this little low budget independent film. I was not expecting it to be a top 10 movie of the year for me. And right now it's top one. It is the best movie of the year, in my opinion. So far, we'll see how well it goes. But I'm glad you had a good time with it, Elizabeth. All right, what's next?
Reggie Wayne, one of two.
Like
With-
the Reggie Wayne?
Who is that?
It's a football player.
Oh, that's
Sports
why
ball.
I don't know. Sorry, Reggie, if you play sports ball. Good for you. With Discovery owning WB, do you see the CW show staying on the CW or moving to HBO Max? Reggie.
There he is.
There we are. Do you think the CW shows will interact with the HBO Max shows at some point, or HBO Max shows interacting with the DCEU?
All right, so here's the thing. HBO is on another level. All right. Look, don't give me, I say this as somebody who can appreciate a good CW show. I watched Supernatural for 15 years.
Everyone's real pretty.
I was real big on the Arrowverse for a while. CW can do some good stuff, but they make let's put it this way. Who's the name of the guy who writes the it's the name of the character Harrison Ford plays in the spy movies? And not Reacher, but then they just have a TV show with John Krasinski with the name. What's the name of those? Why am I freezing it? It's the Hunt for Red October character, Jack Ryan.
There we go.
Jack Ryan. So, and who's the name of the guy who writes the Jack Ryan books and Rainbow Six?
Oh, Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy. Thank you. And a whole bunch of people in the live show are writing Jack Ryan. Thank you. And I think Mario's the first person to write it. Nope. Haunted Autumn was the first person to write it. Jack Ryan. So CW is Us Weekly rag magazine at the checkout counter at the grocery store. Some kind of fun little empty calories in there. HBO is a Jack Ryan novel or is a Tom Clancy novel. Wow. I mean, it's just both have their place. Both can be fun, but they are very, very different from each other. HBO makes the best TV series usually in pretty much in history generally. If you average it out, there's nobody better at making television series than HBO. They are the best.
Oh,
and so I don't see HBO bringing the CW grocery store checkout line rag magazines in there. So I don't see them doing that.
that reminds me, you brought up the grocery thing. I was actually at the grocery yesterday, and I saw a full stack of like brand new Entertainment Weeklies with Obi-Wan on it. I should have bought one. I was going to text
Wait,
you.
I thought they already did their final. Is that their final?
Yeah, remember we were talking about how we had to pick it up, and we went to Barnes and Noble. Remember
Oh,
that
that's
night?
right. They didn't have
and
it.
they didn't have it.
But they had it there?
Yeah.
Did you didn't grab
Advance?
one?
I forgot. I was supposed to text you, but then my hands got so full with groceries for this, for us that I forgot. I just completely forgot.
We got to go back to that store and pick that up because I think that's going to be the last issue.
That is the last issue, and they had like it was almost like they put it on the rack like right then and there, like
All
they
right.
were all clean.
All right. Well, yeah, we're going to go get those because I think that's going to be the last issue of that. All right. What's next?
From Luis, I don't know if it would be a good idea that Chris recommends an anime once a week after the move. It's just a suggestion.
Oh, so what you're saying
Oh.
is, I don't know if it'd be a good idea, but you probably meant but instead of that.
Okay.
Chris recommends an anime movie once a week after the move. I love that. I think we should
I think
do
it'd be
maybe Mondays or Wednesdays or something. It's like, okay, it's time for us to go to Chris's anime recommendation of the week.
I think it'd be fun.
I think that would be really fun.
I have a good backlog of stuff, and then it'll encourage me to make more time for watching new anime.
All right, I love the idea.
Yeah.
I think we may do that, Luis.
you, Luis.
Thanks for writing that in. All right, what's next?
From Glenn Mark, for all the fast-paced action and ambulance, it drones on.
Ha 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 ha. Get it?
Glenn's in my voiceover class, and he hits puns in copy so well. It makes me so happy. He real good.
And for those of you who haven't seen Ambulance, I've said you could rename the movie Michael Bay, or like Ambulance, also known as Michael Bay Bought a Drone.
He loves them.
It's like
Those drones.
everything is just drones. Like, okay, we get it. You have a drone. We get it. Anyway, all right, what's next?
From Jasmine Jones. Oh, wait, we've read that one. From YT Anonymous, just some support.
Thank you, YT.
CJ Rebirth. I'm looking forward to the Fast Furious movies ending soon, to be honest. Fast 9 was nuts, but the best part to me was honestly seeing a certain skyline. I was a fan of Paul's Brian and his storyline with Mia and Dom.
I mean, look, I will say this. This brings up a wider conversation, actually. I thought Fast 9 was garbage. And I say that as a fan of Fast 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I thought 9 was just drivelish garbage. So I'll hope for a return to form in Fast 10. But I'm not somebody who hopes movie series end. Because if they continue, it means it's because they've still got people watching them and enjoying them. It doesn't mean I have to go and watch it. So if they make Fast 10, I'm definitely going to go see Fast 10. But if it's just big garbage, and then they do 11 and 12, I'll probably pass because I can pass. But if there are other people who are still liking it and having fun and having good experiences with it and enjoying it, well, then I hope they keep making them for those people. I hope they keep making them for those people.
There's something for everyone.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
And, Fast and Furious 1, 2, and 3 weren't for me. But, 5, 4 was on the fence. 5, 6, 7, and 8 were. So, other things can be there for different people. All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher, I read a little while ago that Moon Knight is the first MCU project to not need reshoots. Or not use them? Don't remember which. But that's impressive.
Well, I mean, it is impressive. Like I said, Kevin Feige said that whenever they start shooting, they've already planned and scheduled reshoots. They already budget for it. They plan for it, all that kind of stuff. If they got through the principal photography of Moon Knight and just went, yeah, there's nothing for us to change. That's pretty awesome. If that's the case. Thanks for sharing that, Sam. All right, what's next?
From Kevin Cow. Finally got in a super chat at the new time.
Yeah.
Loved Moon Knight episode 3, and personally, I can't believe Flash show is ending before the movie.
I mean, I know. But by the way, I also loved Moon Knight episode 3. I thought it was great. Despite not liking that one part of the episode that I thought was pretty questionable. But again, yeah, it's just really weird. It speaks to the dysfunction of not Warner Brothers right now, but it speaks to the dysfunction that DC has had historically, because not only are we talking about a Flash movie that is going to come out after 9 seasons of The Flash on TV have come and gone, but we're also talking about Black Adam, where they announced Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam before they announced the Flash movie. Yeah. Both in 2014. It was 7.5 years ago that they announced Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We still don't have the movie. I mean, there's something unwell over there. At least there has been So it's just kind of a good case study, I suppose. All right, thanks for that in, Kevin. All right, what's next?
Chris Crosscar, Rob. Can't wait to see Duel this weekend. Oh, we did that one.
Yeah,
already.
so, oh yeah.
There it is.
All right, what's
Brandon Gullidge sending in an almost $20 super
next?
chat.
Thank you, Brandon.
Hey, Campea crew. Love your
Canoes
show.
crew. Why?
Canoes crew.
I like canoes. Why not?
That's our new
Crew.
channel. And just showing some support for the channel.
Thank you.
Love Chris, but I have a question. I haven't seen Kim on the channel in a long time. Is she okay?
Yeah,
Bring on the
Kim's.
topic.
Yeah, no, Kim, and us. We discussed this a long time ago. We decided to part ways. She's not with the channel anymore, but obviously we wish her well. She was great on the show, but we wish her well in all of her
She's
future
doing
endeavors.
like some movies and stuff, right? She's
Yeah.
acting.
All right, what's next?
From Pablo Zaniga, watched my big fat Greek wedding 1 and 2 this past weekend. My girlfriend already loved it, and I did too. She didn't know about the TV show though. I did because you have mentioned it before.
It's so bad.
I never watched it.
Aw.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Like, in as much as the original My Big Fat Greek Wedding movie is truly one of the most delightful,
good.
joyous movies I've ever seen. And I think holds the record for the movie that has been at the top 10 at the box office for the longest without ever being number one. I think it was like in the top 10 of the box office for something stupid like 16 weeks or something like that. But it was never number one. It is truly one of the most fantastic, wonderful, fun, delightful, pleasant surprise movies you'll ever see. It's joyous.
that's really cute.
The second one was okay. But the TV show was truly, honestly, like what the Highlander 2 is to the first Highlander, the TV show of My Big Fat Greek Wedding is to what the original movie was. It was unwatchable. It was absolutely, and they even got like half of the original cast returned for it, and including the main star. It was unwatchable.
That's a
Absolutely
shame.
unwatchable. But that it doesn't take anything away from the greatness of that first one. All right, what's next?
From Jordan Ellis, Love and Thunder is going to be epic.
I completely agree, Jordan. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. Right now, Taika Waititi has given us no reason to doubt him. So let's see how it goes. All right, what's next?
Zashawn, just got a box full of these. A freak flying fiasco finds a FedEx exec stranded on an excellent public access TV show. Equals Castaways Wayne's World.
No comment, Zishan. No comment. All right, what's next?
Reese Peanut Butter Cup, why did the ghost go into the bar? For the booze.
Again, you could see
get
the
right.
moment where he got it. You could see the moment where it kicked in.
Yeah.
That's not
good.
bad, Reese. That one's not bad.
Pretty good.
That one's not bad. All right, what's next?
All hail Thanos. Have any of you seen Tag? I feel. Oh, this is a $50 super chat by the
Oh
way.
my gosh,
Thank you
all
so
hail
much,
Thanos. Thank you so much for support, man.
I feel it's so underrated. Me and my wife watch it almost every week. The cast, the story, and a heartfelt message. It's one of the best comedies of the past 10 years, I feel. Love you guys. Keep up the great work.
I mostly agree. Tag is a little movie that kind of came and went under the radar. John Hamm,
Hawkeye's in it.
Jeremy Renner,
Yeah.
he's the lead guy on it.
Ed Helms
Guy
is
from
in
The
it.
Office.
Yeah, Ed Helms.
Ed Helms.
Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson's in it. She's in A Wolf Like Me, and she was in
Ela Fisher.
Isla Fisher. Or Ela Fisher. I don't know how to say.
I'm not sure.
It is a really nice little movie. It's a really nice little movie that has far more heart in it than you think it would, and a good amount of laughs. Here's the thing. It's not the best comedy. Like, there's some good laughs in it. There are some good laughs, and it's truly an enjoyable film. And you're right. It's got more heart, and the thing at the end about it and the little twist you find out, it makes it a real special movie, and I enjoyed it very, very much. I wouldn't say it's one of the better comedies overall, but it's a sweet movie, and I think you're right. It is an underrated movie. Did either of you guys see Tag?
No.
It's a fun movie.
I only saw the tail end of it on a flight.
Oh, that kind of ruins it.
Yeah,
for you, though,
so it's
doesn't
like
it?
I know what happens.
So for those of you who don't know anything about it, it's based on a true group of guys. There's this group of guys, real life, who have had an ongoing, nonstop game of tag for 30 years.
That's
Like since they were kids, even when they move away from each other. And like The true story, and then they showed photos and videos of the real guys at the end of the movie. Like, they live in opposite ends of the country, and one guy will all of a sudden show up at another guy's, like, knock on the door, ding dong, open the door, hasn't seen this guy in a year and a half, poof, tag, and takes off, right? Like, and then it's this group of like 7 or however many guys that are. So they inspired this movie to get made, and it's you should check it out. If you haven't seen Tag, do go and check it out. It's pretty damn good. All right, thanks for sending that in. All hail Thanos. Appreciate that, man. All right, what's next?
From Cash. Hey, John and crew, I love Civil War. It's one of the most rewatchable MCU films. Given its success and the loose adaptation from the comics, what are the chances we get a part 2? Hashtag Team Tony.
I think close to zero. I think close to zero. Civil War is fantastic. Now, the Civil War 2 comic they did, not nearly as successful as the original, and quite frankly, not nearly as good. It's still all right. It's still all right. But it's been done. It's now been done. There's no going back and doing the whole thing again. And really, and right now, the fact of the matter is, the MCU doesn't have 2 clear figureheads that can be the representation of each side. There is no Tony and Steve anymore. Who is it? Is it Captain Marvel? Like in the comics, Captain Marvel's kind of a big lead one in Civil War 2, but
she doesn't live on Earth.
she hardly
She
spends
hasn't
a lot of time
interacted
on
with
Earth.
everyone enough.
Is it Doctor Strange? He's not even a member of the Avengers.
Yeah,
Is it Shang-Chi?
And is the battle still with the government? I think they moved on to like mini battles or like smaller.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess no. There's no point doing a Civil War 2 in this. But hey, listen, the Civil War is one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. And that's why if you haven't seen it, we did our movie club on Civil War yesterday. Go and check it out. It's on the YouTube channel right now. All right, what's next?
From Kasuki Rose. Sorry if I butchered your name. Hello, John. You guys just subscribed.
Nice. Thanks to have you here, man.
I feel like Doctor Strange will be the better movie, but Thor 4 is going to be a special roller coaster.
I mean, look, and I think you're kind of nailing what I was saying before, Kazuki, is that both of these movies I think are going to be great. I think we are, as movie fans, in for a hell of a couple of months. And I think both will be huge winners. I'm just saying right now, if I could go forward in time and interview John Campea 4 months from now and ask him, which of the 2 movies do you prefer? I'm guessing I'm going to say Thor 4. Again, let's see what I say after I see Doctor Strange 2, but I think they are both going to be fantastic, man. All right, good to have you here, and thanks for subscribing. All right, what's next?
From Mufasa, Moon Knight Theory. It is out there, but hear me out. What if Harrow isn't going after Amit, but it's really Gore the God Butcher?
It would make no sense. Gore the God Butcher isn't on Earth, hasn't been on Earth, all that kind of stuff. So that would be a very sloppy kind of connection that they would try. It would feel forced and pointless and meaningless. Because you know what that would mean? That would mean the whole point of Moon Knight was nothing but a setup for Thor 4.
Yeah.
While I'm not going to sit here and say it's absolutely impossible, I will give it a 0.5% chance. I won't say 0, but I'll say almost 0.5% chance. All right, what's next?
From Purple Haze 4564. Hey, John and crew. With the Batman sequel on its way, I wonder why in any movies we haven't seen Rupert Thorne. In the animated series, he's the catalyst to Two-Face becoming Two-Face. Your thoughts?
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even think I remember the Rupert Thorne character off the top of my head. I don't even think so. Obviously, it's not important. It's not important.
Oh, he was one of the crime bosses.
Okay. Unimportant. You can give any name to any crime boss behind anything, so it really wouldn't matter. So the very fact that who have read a lot of Batman comics, I don't even remember that name.
So basically, he was the Carmine of the animated universe, and so he hired Joe Chill to murder Thomas Wayne, yada yada yada. But we already have Carmine Falcone, so
yeah, and you can really give any name to anybody there; it wouldn't matter. So obviously, average film fans, it doesn't matter on the name. So that's probably why purple. All right, what's next?
From Never Lose Your Nerd. Black Panther was in the Illuminati. Since they're not going to recast, I think Storm taking over the mantle would be great, even if in an alt universe.
Aurora isn't Wakandan.
And hasn't been introduced yet.
Hasn't been. And let's find. Now there's Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, but for Storm to be submitted to the MCU, basically, I think that this isn't the movie to introduce her.
Yeah, but again, the main thing to me is that she's not Wakandan.
Yeah.
She got married to the king of Wakanda for a short period of time. It, to me, would make far more sense that another universe's Killmonger would be Black Panther.
Yeah.
Like, not our Killmonger, because our Killmonger was a psychopath, murderous, genocidal maniac.
Yeah.
But another universe's, I think it's far more likely that we have a Michael B. Jordan Black Panther, to be honest with you, like some other universe's version of Black Panther, one that didn't go crazy homicidal, genocidal maniac.
Yeah.
I think that would be far more likely. At least that would be my guess. All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher, hasn't the MCU sort of been doing recaps with their Legends series on Disney Plus, informing audiences of what to watch before the next MCU project?
Right. And 98 people out of 100 said, what's Disney Legends? I mean, it's a little thing that's hidden away on, now, number one, you got to be a Disney Plus subscriber. And it's hidden away on there, and nobody cares because they don't do anything special with it. It's literally just, oh, let's go cut up some scenes and do that. Most people wouldn't even know where to find them or to watch them. So they've kind of been doing that. Yes. I would just submit that they're doing it very inefficiently and ineffectively. So, but it is, I think you're right though. They've kind of been trying to do that just in a very ineffective way. That's my guess. All right, what's next?
From Alan Ling. Hey guys, how are you? Chris, yes. Didn't know you were a Kingdom Hearts fan. What do you think of the Kingdom Hearts 4 news? I'm very, very excited about it. If you guys have seen some of the footage they've released from it, it is stunning. And it's really, really interesting how realistic everything looks. And they're still keeping our very, very lovely Disney-fied designs of Donald and Goofy and everything. It looks really, really rad, but we also are only seeing some preliminary footage. I've read a whole bunch of stuff about how the story is still being worked out, even though they're supposed to do beta testing this year. So I'm not going to hold my breath for an early release, but I'm very excited to have another one of these games and more Sora.
All right, what's next?
Now it's just My Comic Planet. With the NBA playoffs starting, who you got winning the championship this year, John?
Suns. Quite frank sense. Ray, what do you think?
Grizzlies, baby. Come on, please.
They've got one of the most exciting, dynamic players we've seen in years. But it's the Suns. Obviously anybody can beat anybody on any given day, for sure. But I have to put my money on the Suns.
Yeah, and plus this is a 7-game series. So
yeah,
it's like usually the better team usually does win.
Usually. I mean, anything can happen. Somebody can get injured, whatever.
Right.
But they've been ripping it out without Chris Paul. And like Chris Paul is now getting back into form. And I don't see them getting beat this year. But you never know. Yep. You never know. Actually, I heard Steph Curry was supposed to be out for the year, but they're saying he may play in the playoffs. I missed a little bit of that. I just caught a bit of a headline. But anything can happen with Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State is actually way better than I thought they would be without losing their players throughout the season. So, I think next year Golden State will probably be the one to look out for when everyone's healthy and they've all gelled together.
Right. Okay. And once we get just now, 5-Star Force, just sending in super chat badges to be supportive. Thank you so much for that 5-Star Force 3 times over. Appreciate that very much. And guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here, guys, and making this show a part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number one, because it gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved with the John Campea Show, thank you guys so very much for your support. Guys, there's a new mailbag going up a little bit later today. If you'd like to get a comment or question, maybe you don't watch the show live and therefore you can't get in a super chat, whatever. If you do have a comment or question for us, we do a show a couple times a week called Mailbag. If you'd like to get a question on that, simply use the tip link that's down in the description below or enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your comment or question read on our show if, of course, we deem your question appropriate for Mailbag. And, of course, you'll be supporting our channel at the same time. Guys, I want to thank the people in the room with me. Ray Aura. Ray, where can people find you online?
Ray Aura with a 0. Also, I want to bring up the person who brought up the question with the Dr. Doom Cupcake Factory.
Right.
I'm now looking up cupcakes on my...
Now I'm obsessed with cupcakes.
Now I'm gonna eat some
Thanks
cupcakes.
so much. And also beside him, it's Chris Carr. Chris, where can people find you?
You can find me on social, Twitter and Instagram at Chris Carr. That's Chris with a K, Carr with 2 R's.
And of course, you guys can follow me on Instagram or on Twitter, simply at John Campea. All right, guys, that'll do it for us for now. Make sure you come back and join us again tomorrow. Rob will be back in his chair there. We can't wait to see you. My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.